Red, you see, I took your advice and played it, right, Red?
Yes, sir.
See,
Man, that's a vibe right there.
yo, was you there before we start? Was you there when we made the song when we started that, or you came the next day?
I was there when the song got started.
Okay, so you remember the whole Scarface thing, right?
Yeah, the inspirational
The
from the
inspiration,
intro, the inspo
yes, yeah,
from the intro.
yeah, the Scarface, yeah, yeah.
And
Yo, Dot, nothing is more pleasing than making something from nothing and getting inspired musically by something. We was listening to. I was telling our engineer Nick, Cam, and Red and how much I love and appreciate the Scarface soundtrack, and that black people's
Hmm.
connection to Scarface is more than just the drugs. It's the music, that soundtrack. That shit resonates with our soul. So
Absolutely.
we was listening to
Absolutely.
the intro song, and then like 15 minutes later, we end up making that track right there. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I started out with the melody, and I got this thing where after I do a certain amount of work and shit, I gotta take a nap. So I
Hmm.
went upstairs, I took a nap, and shit. I remember when I came back down, I don't know if it was the next morning or whatever. Our engineer Nick, he was like, "Yo, Rich, man, I got some drums for the outro," and he played it for me. And I'm like, "No, keep that shit for the whole song." So he ended up putting
Facts.
his drums on there. Then E-Bass came with the guitar. That's Jay-Z. He did bass for Jay-Z. He came with the guitar, the bass guitar, and shit, man, it's a long story, man, but it's nothing more beautiful than music. Nothing more
You
beautiful.
guys do phenomenal work. Shout out Nick, man, who's an amazing engineer, bro. True story.
No, no, indeed, indeed, indeed. Family, I'm gonna let y'all line up. We about to get things started. Oh man, a great conversation that's definitely well needed in this day and time. I want to give a shout out and I want to welcome back to the platform. Somebody said DMX style, take it a nap, Rich. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it. Shit. When you download that shit, it takes a lot from your avatar. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you
it
be
does.
tired
It
like a
does.
It
you know
does.
what I'm saying? But I want to welcome back to the platform none other than the OG himself, Black Dot and Red Pillar. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Peace, peace. Well, thank you for having us back.
Yeah, man. Listen, I mean, it's uh a much needed conversation. I noticed this topic popping up a lot on TikTok and social media ever since they got that Netflix thing where um I survived this with the Netflix
Yeah,
thing.
the documentary
And I
meme.
noticed a lot of people, I seen a lot of I survived consciousness and I survived this, I survived Young Pharaoh, I survived Queen of Ford. And a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of people on the internet talking about how they're returning back to church and all types of things on the internet. And I'm seeing a lot of psychosis on the internet. And I said to myself, I said that, we're literally witnessing, we've been talking about, people on the channel have been talking about a timeline shift that was going to occur, that was going to split things. And one group was going to go over here and another group was going to go over there. And I'm literally seeing in real time people slowly exiting this thing we call consciousness. It could be for a multiplicity of reasons, but people are slowly exiting consciousness for whatever reason. And the people who are staying are staying. And I'm saying to myself, this thing, the way this information is being disseminated, it was never intended to be disseminated in that fashion. Whether it's a cult,
Correct.
esoteric, whatever. And it's time to have a good conversation. I want the people watching the platform psychologically to be safe out there. There's so many fake gurus and there's so much contradicted information. I would just like to start out the show about what does Red Pillar and Black Dot think about the state of spiritual psychosis online at this time. This thing is way bigger than what we call a conscious community. It's just online spirituality. And we're seeing a lot of psychosis online right now. And how do y'all think this happened? And what do y'all think could be some remedies, or is this supposed to happen? So Black Dot, Red, we can start out like that.
Yeah, that's a great opening because as we spoke earlier, 30 years ago when I got into this, And I want to preface this by saying this. The ones who are still here are the ones who went through the basic training
Mm.
of 9, 10, 11, 12-hour
Mm.
sit-down sessions, being spoon-fed information a little bit at a time to prepare us for the quickening of what was going to happen. Those who jumped on, latched on because it was a cool thing without training, so to speak, are the ones who came in, drifted out, or the ones who came in and created these weird identities to try to place themselves in historic presence using grifting techniques and things of that nature. When I take attendance, I see the same faces, the ones I count on and rely on for information are the same faces I've seen for the last 25, 30 years. And so back then, we didn't skip around topics. We weren't fed 40 different things at one time.
Mm.
We would spend 2 weeks, 2 months on a subject
Mm-hmm.
until the elders felt we understood it and then they moved on. And I always say the number one thing Bobby and the rest of them told us was do not follow me anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, coming from church, coming from the Nation of Islam, coming from all of these different schools of thought, where you had a hierarchy or a leader that you waited to provide you spiritual insight, that was the most profound thing I personally had heard, because it was saying this is not about me, this is about you coming into your own and learning something that's going to prepare you. Now, as we came into the age of Aquarius or the age of information, this and that, that's a good thing and a bad thing, because the information is moving so fast that the wisdom and the understanding of certain topics no one is getting anymore. They're surfing from this and from
Mm.
that, and then they think they can watch a few YouTube videos and become YouTube scholars and regurgitate certain aspects. And that's not what consciousness, awareness, spirituality is about, in my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Ray, do you want to add on to that, my brother?
Yeah, I want to veggie back on what Dot was saying. You know that the a lot of psychosis is coming about because there's a fracture taking place in terms of the way that people are being receiving the information, especially like the brother said, if there was no initial priming done, right? There's no training. A lot of people got introduced to consciousness through YouTube and whatnot. They were not fully aware of, they didn't have that discernment. They didn't have the required discernment to realize who's real, who's not, whose information was vetted, whose information was considered to be fringe or rogue and whatnot. So imagine somebody surfing the web or YouTube on a given Sunday. They might come across Black Magic 363 video. Then they might hop on to a Urban X video. Then they'll hop on to a KTL video. Then they'll hop on to somebody's video from another corner of YouTube who the topic may be woke and whatnot, but it might not necessarily be conscious. Maybe CC the Bodyguard or Unk 707 or something. Then that'll take them a recommendation to take them to Whack 100. Then that'll take them to a Tazariak video, which will bring him amongst a lot of Caucasians. And then after you watch that, you're tapping into the Caucasian videos. So unless you signed up to go on a conscious roller coaster with ideals and energies and frequencies that are completely different from one another on a given 12-hour sit, right? On a given 12-hour window and whatnot, a given 8-hour block, you might go through a lot of different emotions. Is basically you'll be on a conscious roller coaster ride. And if you're not grounded in your quote unquote consciousness, or if you're not grounded in who you are, if you didn't start this path searching for yourself first and foremost, if there's not a lot of inner work being done outside of the outer work, you're gonna find yourself as a conscious cheerleader or whatnot, cheering and parakeeting certain information that might possibly be wrong. It might possibly have flaws in it. It might possibly be from a person with a personality disorder and whatnot. So you'll be mimicking their behaviors, their mind state, and it just becomes a quagmire. And I'm seeing the fracturing of it taking place on higher levels now.
Not so much Dot has talked about psychedelics as much as I know Red Pill. You have mentioned it. Do you ever feel, and Doc could chime in on this as well, that you shouldn't have talked about psychedelics the way you should online? Because what I'm noticing is a lot of abuse of psychedelics from individuals who are looking for spirituality and they are not getting results from these psychedelics. In fact, these psychedelics, it appears, are making these people you know develop psychosis. So the very thing that we were taught, we read these books, Jeremy Narby and all these books online about the benefits of DMT. I'm finding, in fact, the death just happened. I told you about it, Red, with a teacher, a famous teacher online, an Asian dude,
Right.
gave a female a concoction of
A
psychedelics
cocktail.
and whatnot,
Right.
a cocktail, and she had heart failure and she died, and that is being investigated right now. How do you feel about your approach and telling people about psychedelics? Do you think that was something that should have remained offline, Red and Black Dot?
Well, let me say this really quick. We're in the microwave age.
Mm-hmm.
And so even the process of psychedelics is a process by which you elevate to a level where now psychedelics is something you want to participate in. But in this age, this microwave age, where these children, I don't care how old they are, these children lack patience due to the social media world that they're in, where they're getting tidbits of information. Some of them think they could just take psychedelics and be where they're supposed to be. And it does not work that way. You are in synergy with the universe, and the universe knows when you are ready and when you are not to experience such an event. Now, I grew up taking mescaline, PCP, angel dust, you name it, as a teenager. And so the experience was totally different because I wasn't spiritually acclimated and aware of the potential of what could happen. And we survived the 80s. This 80s is a long time ago. And so now I'm seeing people want to jump to the front of the line like this is some kind of race. This is not what spirituality is about. You are on your own odyssey. You are in your own troubled waters of life, trying to navigate through the ups and downs. And you have to be very, very careful, especially with what they're doing now with the psychedelics. And because they realize what used to work is no longer working. We are elevating, you know what I mean? And so they think a more potent version of these psychedelics will accelerate the process, and that's not necessarily the case. And like somebody said, that's why teachers like Baba Kalindi and those who understood how to spiritually prep you for such an event is so important. So speaking openly into this internet can be dangerous at times.
Right. I have to be very responsible in my role in terms of the introduction of psychedelics into the community. It was introduced to me through Dr. Sabi in 2002, right? He gave me a Ziploc and whatnot. I was a little out of control. He told my mother, he felt that I needed the medicine. And my introduction was a very mind opening introduction. I cried, tears of joy. I was just elated. But it took me 10 years later to even deal with it again, right? And during that era of 2002, leading up into 2010, we had what we call master teachers who were placeholders to a lot of the behaviors or a lot of the activities that we participated in. And what did that mean? That meant that before the internet and before you could DM somebody, you had somebody's phone number and whatnot, but they were like the face of certain practices and whatnot. So if you were to
Mm-hmm.
get in like veganism, you always knew that Dr. Sebi was alive. He was around. You would basically refer to his last teaching or his last lecture as to what he was banning on his list and what he was saying was a go, and then you went ahead and did it. When you was going to get into some of the high sciences and whatnot, you would tap into Dr. Delbert Blair. He would prep you, he would prepare you, and then you would go into it. When it came to the shrooms and whatnot, we had Baba Kalinda who was holding the gate, right? So similar to what we saw when Dr. Sebi made transition, and then everybody who was somewhat at the gate, they were, they were responsible because Dr. Sebi was responsible, so they were held to be responsible as well. Charlatans couldn't pop up and saying they were doing things in Dr. Sebi's name while Dr. Sebi was still here because they knew that Dr. Sebi would publicly embarrass them and X them out and be like, that has nothing to do with me. But now when he's gone, it's almost like in the movie Odyssey when they breached the gates and whatnot, and then they opened the door, and then everybody was able to rush into Troy and whatnot. So when these master teachers, when these libraries burn to the ground, when these master teachers make transition and they don't have somebody to carry on and whatnot, it's similar to the gates burning to the ground, and then everybody will rush into their house. They'll rush into their school of knowledge and ransack and whatnot. So now we have all of these charlatans, we have all of these rogue agents, we have everybody who is reading or they're perpetrating fraud. They're perpetrating a fraud because they'll watch a Dr. Kalindi's lecture and whatnot, and then they'll go ahead and regurgitate that. They'll go ahead and repeat that, or they'll take one line of it and they'll run around like they're the gurus and whatnot. And then you have people who are not being responsible and they're not telling people what the dangers of recreational use of something that's supposed to be a sacrament, right? And then, like you were saying earlier, you have this microwavable mentality to whereas people might see a person like a Kambada, and then Kambada might rap about the ethanogens and everything, and he has this certain type of ability and these qualities. But once again, people are not factoring in that we're all on our separate hero's journey. We are all Odysseus. We are all, and the medicine is a part of our journey. So if the journey, if I had to take the medicine on certain parts of my journey, that has nothing to do with you on your part of your journey or what you're doing,
Absolutely.
or what medicine might even be. You might be called to Aya, grandma, and somebody might be called to the grandpa. Somebody might be called a bufu. Somebody might be getting called to take the iboga and whatnot. Totally different things for totally different reasons. And another thing is that our bodies, our temple, our vehicle, everybody's not built up to even take a shroom. It's
Right,
similar to
right.
it's similar to trying to drive and put a Tesla engine in an old school and whatnot. You have to have the right nutrients. You have to have balanced zinc, balanced copper, balanced magnesium. Your temple has to be able to take you into the universe. So here it is. People are taking high powered medicines and whatnot, but they don't have the right nutrients in their bodies, the cellular, the makeup. So they're facing their demons. They didn't do a cleanse and whatnot. So they're taking shrooms and they're coming across a parasite that's inside of them, but it's amplified because
Oh,
they didn't do the work prior. They're not doing it as a ceremony. They're doing it as a Friday night thing, mixing it with Casamigos and whatnot.
Mm. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I know a lot of street dudes that started doing shrooms, and it was kind of bugged out when I first heard about it being popular in the streets, and I'm like,
It
wow,
blew up in the streets.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
took off. It's a club thing now, right? So they doing 1492, right? And then they banging like 5 grams,
whew,
right? And then they
Mm,
smoking, they blowing down 3.5s and whatnot, and they might pop a pill later on, right? And a lot
yeah.
of this is dealing with sexual prowessness because it is an aphrodisiac and you can lock in on shrooms, right? So a lot of people are utilizing it for, but once again, when I heard it, there was a part of me that was elated because I was like, even if they sign up for the healing or not, they're finna get it.
mm.
They're gonna get the healing. I don't know what people's personal trips. It has not shown up in the music as of yet, meaning that the music did not considerably get better as a result of the hood being on shrooms. However, I'm of the mind state that people are healing. They're facing their fears. They're facing some of their traumas and whatnot, and it is a benefit. It's more of a plus than a negative to me.
And you hit on something, guy,
Indeed.
because as they're facing their demons and their fears, they need somebody there with them to let them know it's going to be okay,
It's gonna be
because
okay,
that's
right?
what leads to the psychosis. In terms of the music, I told people years ago, mumble rap is the result of shrooms, codeine, all that at once, going into a creative space with no pen or pad.
Right.
And whatever download comes, now here's the thing. In order for you to receive that message, you had to be on their frequency. So you had to be on the same shit they're on so you can understand it. You ever go to a party and you get there late and it's loud and the music is, and you don't know what's going on, you're trying to get your bearings? It's
Right.
because you haven't acclimated to the frequency of that event.
Okay.
So
Right.
the mumble rap wasn't for everybody. It was for those who had moved into a space where they could understand jibber jabber and make actual sense of it. And they did that, and that became their vibe and their swag. And
Right.
it passed that phase, but that's what that was really all about.
Similar to jazz musicians on the improv when they were just improvising and they were on the edge, y'all.
And they were
Right?
on Heron too.
They were on Heron. They were in a peculiar dark space, right?
Yes,
Channeling and
yes.
whatnot. So these young musicians are literally taking cocktails of barbiturates, of psychopharmacopoeia, cocktails and whatnot, right? And they're going in to bring something back. What they bring back, me, you, and Brother Rich can't necessarily judge it at the end of the day. It's a
Mm-hmm.
frequency. There's certain people here with a certain special ear and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, but the missing ingredient is the shaman. The missing ingredient is people having DIY studios with no engineers. The missing ingredient in consciousness is you're receiving the master teacher's information, but you don't have an instructor. You don't have a
Right.
liaison. You don't have somebody in the middle, and people feel like they don't need anybody anymore. They feel like they got this all alone. I'm gonna go in the middle of the ocean, and we don't need an instructor. I don't need a lifesaver, right?
Yes.
So it's that arrogance. This. I would call it. It's the opposite of pretty privilege. It's ugly
Mm.
privilege. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
the mind state is very, I don't need anybody, and that was that later age consciousness mind state where people started shunning the master teachers. They started shunning the platforms and whatnot. I don't need these Negroes no more. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need an instructor. So the YN energy came in and it shunned the elder statesmanship. It shunned that father figure or that mother figure or that grandfather figure, and it was like it was a killmonger energy. Nah, F that. I'm burning down a village. I got this. I got
I'm
this.
burning it down.
Now we're
Yes.
dealing with So now we're dealing with the remnants of that. Now we're dealing with the quote unquote the residue of that. Now we're dealing with the outgrowth of that because it has mutated and it's all over YouTube. It's what they call creative burnout, right? Black fatigue. No, it's not black fatigue. It's conscious slop, right? It's
Yes.
cosmic slop, and it's but
It's
so much
spiritual
that you can take. It's
psychosis,
spiritual
as Rich
slop,
said.
and you got
Yes.
exploding diarrhea of the mind right now, or your diarrhea mouth and whatnot. People are literally online rambling about nothing burgers right now, and it's troubling my spirit, and it's troubling to the spirit. You understand? It's a
Yes.
fracture, and people have to. It's almost like we are forced to watch Faces of Death through consciousness. People are crashing out and burning out, so much so that the corporations are making millions of dollars on it. Hulu got the Nature Boy series, and people have the Rashad
Mm.
Jamal series. They made a cottage industry off of your psychosis. It's nothing cute about it and whatnot. Oh, because the danger of it is now you're being identified and defined through narcissistic personality disorder and in a psychosis. They could Baker's act your ass because they did not know how to identify people that was dressed like this and look like this. But now households, right? Corporate
They have a
America
reference
has
point.
now
Yes.
painted us with a paintbrush that all the niggas that look like this are psychotic and we are cult members and we are primed for the 730 Baker's Act. They could rendition you and put you in a mental hospital, and they could knock you off with a SWAT team because they've already primed you and they've already prepped you as being violent and you're a useless eater in the eyes of everyday Americans, just like
Amen.
that.
Yeah, it's always
Facts.
interesting seeing how the people watching the content online, just their perception of the personalities, the content creators, the people speaking, the people lecturing. And this comment was it's pretty interesting. I want to get your thoughts on this because we was talking earlier, Dot, about the worship gene, and but Dot just mentioned about Bobby and them saying, "Don't follow me." This comment right here, the individual says 607 has become the new leader of the spiritual community. It's always interesting how, to me, how the perception of who's the new leader or who's in charge or who's this. So, what do you think about, and I'm sure this is not the only person who may think this. What are your thoughts about people watching social media and they may see lights, camera, action, they may see viewership, fights break out or whatever, and they just anoint somebody the new leader? What do you think about that door process that will make people make 607 the new leader of the spiritual community?
Spiritual
That's
psychosis.
interesting. Yeah, that's the definition of it. And I have nothing against 607, working his way through trying to make sense of this matrix of what it is that we live in. That does not qualify him in any shape, form, or fashion to teach and to lead anyone. But as you said, this worship, energy of our people, dating back to the church, where even when truth is revealed, what I learned, let me back up. What I learned being on a podcast for the last 8 years is
Mm-hmm.
people are slow. People are we want to think people can read, write, and discern. You will be amazed on how many people cannot, right? And in that process, spiritual discernment is something totally different. You know what I'm saying? And that requires training, understanding, and awareness that most of these people don't have. The internet is not providing that. And so 607 comes up and, he regurgitates a lot of stuff we learned 30 years ago. And he's in his own element doing it. And now so people gravitate because our people are looking for leaders. Don't ask me why. You know what I mean? When we're supposed to be in a state where we are above and beyond that, but we give people too much credit. Listen to what I'm telling you. I realize that people, linear minds, think in straight lines, man. These people are literalists. They take everything you say literally. A lot of them are functional social media literate. That's it. They can press a button. They know what app they want to go to. They can't possibly grasp the enormity of what it is that we're talking about. And so CC, the homie, 607, they're coming through, kicking wild stories that we heard as kids, us, the ones who've been in the community 25, 30 years, when we were kids. These were the stories that were told to us, but now they're reintroducing them in a time when a few people may be able to grasp. And here we are again, anointing someone to lead us because we can't lead ourselves. And it becomes sickening for me, Rich. It becomes sickening for me to hear this
Yeah.
read, and this is the state that we're in. A few
Right.
Yeah.
code words here and there, a few buzzwords, spiritual buzzwords, a few this and that, and now this is the new leader. It's almost a joke.
Red, you want to
Yeah.
chime in on that, Red? Or
I would just say it's a continuation of what we've seen over the years and whatnot. Like Dot said, Bobby and Phil and others told us specifically, do not anoint anyone as a leader. We are not in the leaderless era anymore. We have exited that. This is about the person. This is about the journey. This is about you, right? You are the leader. You are the God. You are coming to save yourself and whatnot. Yeah, parasocialism is real. People live parasocially through They
What
live
that mean, man?
vicariously.
What does that mean? Parasocial.
Parasocial is basically somebody could be watching me, you, or Dot on the internet, and they begin to feel like me and them are, best of friends. Like they start to imagine that I'm speaking to them directly and whatnot.
Right.
Yes.
If I say something, they would text me and be like, "Bro, I heard a subliminal in your thing. Were you talking about me?" And I'll say to them, "I was not thinking about you, fam. You live
Ooh,
in
that happens a
Alaska."
lot.
Yeah, that does
Ooh, that
happen.
happens a lot. Oh, shit.
Parasocial relationships
That's what
could
that
turn
means.
into
Parasocial.
stalking.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
parasocial and whatnot.
Ooh, that happens a lot. Oh, shit.
So there's been this whole parasocial, and I really saw it take place like when the niggas start taking their shirts off in consciousness. No disrespect to
Yes.
anybody, but when they went shirtless consciousness, and they
Spread
were they
that.
were they were risen up, the women, yeah, all of that started becoming very parasocial. Like, oh, that's my husband. He's talking to me. I'm gonna get a face tat like him. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get tatted up. Oh my goodness, he's gonna save us. And then there was all of these, the world is gonna end. We're gonna help, the rapture is coming. Like all of that is dealing with parasocialism. It's a sort of spell casting in a sense, right? So you do have some of these borderline cult-like personalities who have disassociated personality disorders. They have they have all of the qualifications to where they could be diagnosed with the mental illness, right? And they
For
are in
sure.
front of the microphone, they're online, they're blowing up, they're paying for bots and whatnot. They're being watched by people who are also similar to them. Let's keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And when the younger generation started running in and speaking, very haphazardly, where they couldn't prove anything that they were saying, and we went from research into download, meaning that I could say anything to the world unless I just have to say it was a download. Yo, fam, I got this download the other day, and it said this and it said that. I was sun gazing, and this came to me. Yo, I was picking the greens out of my backyard, and Oya popped up in the onion, and she said, shit like that. And then nothing was checked, nothing was scrutinized. One of the things that the debate era brought to us, right? It was a 50-50 type of thing. But the debate era, or the debate era, what we would call the debate scene and whatnot, it further pushed us into the cult of personality worship, because you would give
Yes.
one man a lot of power over religions, over organizations that have been around for hundreds of years. All that power, all one man should not have all that power. But it also brought us a level of fact checking, right? So the assumption was, if this person survived the debate and they walked away unscathed without being exposed and dragged through the mud, then whatever they were saying that did not get exposed vicariously was okay with the people and whatnot, right? So because we didn't have any fact checking back in those days, and because it was almost like battle rap in a sense, that opened up this whole thing where people could say anything. And here we are. It's sensationalism on crack, on fentanyl. You know what I mean?
I
It's
love the term.
sensationalism
Yes.
on Fetty. You know what I mean? And situation, we don't have time to sit around and do fact checks. We don't have time to scrutinize what somebody said it's a download. I would never get in front of somebody and deny them the fact of what it is that their mind told them it's the truth. I can never get in front of that. I will never waste my time or my energy trying to debate anybody based off of what their psychosis is. That's not my job. My job is to show and prove things in real time and whatnot, and to demonstrate that it's applicable, kinetic knowledge and whatnot. That's where I'm on. So
For sure.
I want to clear up. Somebody said Radiohead Rich said he got cigars that are Wakanda technology, so that's okay. I guess what the H man. Just to clarify that, I referred to Mr. G's drink as Wakanda technology. So I really don't like when people just blatantly lie online. I compared my cigars were made in ancient Mayan territory, so I compared it to the Mayans. But if you're gonna say something like that, at least get it right. Mr. G's drink comes from Honduras, and I compared it to Wakanda because of the color and because of the amount of herbs that are fused in it, and because it puts your mind in a flow state, and it is extremely effective. So be careful when you just go say things, and that's how fast misinformation can be put online.
And Rich, this is what I mean by spiritual discernment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Linear minds thinking straight lines, and he figuratively thought you meant Wakanda when you're talking about a spiritual
Yeah.
essence,
Yeah.
which is reminiscence of
Yeah.
something so
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
This is what I
This
mean. I had to learn that.
real time example of what thanks for saying that, Dot. This is a real time example of what Dot is talking about. Number one, he got it wrong, and number two, he didn't understand the essence of what I was portraying when I talked about the Gifiti, the Nuwani Gifiti. So a real time example of what Dot was talking about earlier. That's excellent, Dot. Thanks for thanks for bringing that up, Dot. I want to yeah, great example at the top. Yeah. I want to, yes, comprehension is so important. Yes, and it's hard. We're realizing that it's not on social media. Comprehension is not, so but I want to talk to, I got, because I know Dot don't have that much time left here because he's getting ready to go on this show. One of the most complex topics, even dangerous topics to engage in, the advanced shit. We've seen a lot of people get washed up spiritually, and I'm not saying that in a in a way to poke fun at anybody, but the occult realm, you have to be very careful with the occult realm, because you're invited. Even with this channel, I'm inviting so many different spirits and on my channel. Right. I have to be extremely grounded to do what I do. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm on a hot. Yes. I'm at the top. I'm at the top. There's a reason for that. I have so much foundation at home, and I'm grounded, and I'm not. So you know what I'm saying. So I understand the process because I came from the Black Dot, Bobby. I came from that era. But the occult realm and the information that's online, what advice would you have somebody out there, Dot in red, who says, I want to be a witch, I want to be a wizard, I want to be a warlock, I'm God, I'm the divine feminine, I'm a god, I'm a goddess, and they feel like they have this immense power, and they're getting involved in all this magic and voodoo and wizardry and all of this, and a lot of people are leaving it effed up. What advice would you have people going into that direction, going into that realm, looking to do what we call magic and things of that nature that Bobby so infamously talked about?
Well, you have to be prepared for that, and because you are magic, you are the magic. All of the things you do externally are just different sigils that your mind can recognize so that you can pull off the magic, because it's all happening in your mental space, whether you know it or not. And so when you're delving into formulas formulated by those who left this here because it was no other way for them to give the examples to you, and you start blending energies, you invite in energies. Remember, you are the one, as Bobby would say, who's in the avatar. They are entities who are so jealous that you got a physical body and you can come down here and make music and have fun and do all of that they're waiting, for the opportunity through the perverted sexual behaviors of some, the alcohol abuse, the mushrooms, all of the things that open you up and allow entities to latch onto you, and then you are moving in a different space that you wasn't ready for, and it will drive you insane because your intent was wrong from the beginning. Your intent was ego driven. I want to show that I'm this and that. That's an ego driven intent, and you bring in entities that go, we'll help you get that done. When you're pure in your intention and your heart is open for what it is, your work is here, it will show no matter what. I walk this earth with pure intention. You follow what I'm saying? And so I allow my spiritual residue to speak for itself in terms of what my work and I'm here to do enrich and read. And when I say 25, 30 years, it's a continuing thing. Those who are jumping in, they're excited because sometimes, you know what I hate most, Rich? I hate
Yeah.
three people. And I hate to say hate because that's a
That's
born again
strong.
Christians, born again Hoteppers, and born again Muslims coming out of prison. Why? Because they
Yeah.
get this download of information and they're excited about it and they want to, you know what I'm saying, go full speed ahead with no full true understanding. You ever talk to a born again Christian? You was just in the club with them 2 weeks ago,
Right.
wilding out. And then they got these scriptures that they don't understand the scriptures. Or a born again Hotepper is even worse because he put on the garbs and all the pieces and they want to hotep you and sister love you and it doesn't hit the same. And those who find Allah in prison, you know what I mean? These people come out with a distorted version of what they're for those. Now, some people get on the path, and that's great. But overall, and so we're in a time and a space where this will drive you insane.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Because you're not ready for that. And if entities latch on to you, it's hard to get them off. That's when you need eldership to help cleanse your auric field of what you have, because they're parasites. Those are spiritual parasites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Parental.
Once again, real quick, Red, because I got to clear this up. Somebody said, but aren't your cigars called sacred tobacco? Nothing wrong with standing on Tech Rich. Once again, I never said they weren't sacred. I just said I didn't refer to them as Wakanda. I was referring to Mr. G's drink, which is extremely, extremely sacred and extremely valuable. This right here, family, is extremely sacred. In fact, every time me and Red meet up, when we in the studio, wherever we at, I bring some for everybody in the room and we tap into a zone. This is not something that I'm just like, if it wasn't sacred to me, Red, Cambada, whoever's around, this is the first thing we light up when we link up with each other. This ain't no joke. This is family. When I tell y'all, this has been the best gift to me in the last 2 years, hands down. This thing right here has allowed me to tap into realms that I dreamed of at one time. So, of course, this is extremely sacred. I'm just clearing up something, and I'm going to share the link in a little while because I do want everybody to experience the radio cigars, and you could do that via donation. So I'll talk about that a little later. Yeah,
and the level of sacredness is going to be subjected to where you are in this time and space. So
Right.
you might not have the experience Rich had. That don't mean it wasn't as powerful as it was. Come on, this stuff. This
Right.
is what I deal with, you know, when I'm online and I get a headache, man. So,
Spiritual hygiene.
right.
Spiritual hygiene and parental guidance. Those are the two things that I feel should be implemented in our community, moving forward and whatnot. What is spiritual hygiene? Spiritual hygiene is, it means many things, but it's the fact that if you're going to be dealing with spirituality and you want to follow in the path of a Brother Panic or a Bobby Hemmett or Azazel and all of the greats and whatnot, there's a certain type of hygiene that you should be participating in. You can't push with this gross occultism where you're not, you know what I mean? You can't put lipstick on a pig. You know what I'm saying? People are literally coming up in this bitch and they like, yo, I could do anything. I could engage in any type of behaviors. I could indulge in any type of proclivities and whatnot. And I'm good and whatnot. And I'm here to let you know, no, you might be tapping into Typhonian energy. You might be tapping into some Crowley-like energy. You might be tapping into, because if you outside playing with some type of alternative frequencies and whatnot, if you're doing AC, you're not tapping into the AC/DC frequency. That's off.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck what your justifications may be on that side. That is off. That's not what none of the master teachers, nobody who was in alignment was talking like that, and they wasn't pushing that narrative. If we look at the audience of a lecture today compared to the audience of a lecture in 2012, when you look at one of those old National Black Theater, let alone a lecture from the LIU era, the audience has changed. The teachers somewhat, but definitely the audience has changed and whatnot dramatically and whatnot. So we also have to factor that in. That's a good thing. And you know what I mean? It's a good thing because we wanted this to expand. Our main goal when we all lined up and formed Voltron was we were to spread the information of the master teachers to our generations and whatnot, to the younger, to the youth in the matrix, and unplug them and to bring them into the fold. That is what the red and the blue signed up for. We were here to bring our generation as a liaison through the Nebuchadnezzar into Zion. When I met Black Dot,
Absolutely.
that was the mission that Black Dot was on. He was rescuing. He was a bus driver. He turned from a bus driver into a charter bus driver, taking our people on this conscious trip to to conscious goddamn water parks and whatnot, taking them out of the
Yes.
hood mentality into a place where they were in an amusement park, a roller coaster ride of consciousness, the 5 pillars of hip hop, allowing us to see a culture that was dominating us through a different lens and whatnot. So by helping us to see hip hop through a different lens, we now were able to create hip hop through a different lens and through a different medium with a different purpose, with a different frequency. That's where you get the Scorpion King. That's where you get Holy Ghost. That's where you get Batman Mafia. All of these came about from the instructions of what Black Dot laid out, right? Parental guidance. We followed the rules and we followed the writings and we followed the teachings of he who came before us. And we
Yes.
honored his teachings and we honored his writings with our output, with our creations, with our quote unquote, and our creations are feeding the next generation who's like, yo, I'm gonna honor the structure of a Scorpion King album. I'm gonna honor, the production of the Holy Ghost, with Brother Rich laid out through Black Magic, the rhyme sequences that Cambada brought. All of these things are meant to incite and to enthusiastically inspire those who come before us and those who come after us. That's what we're here to do. Parental guidance. I always preface the master teachers. I was just watching Phil the other day on your channel. Like, I'm always gonna go back to those who precede us and whatnot before I even make moves. So if you're gonna get into the occultism, if you're gonna go on the dark side and whatnot, if you're gonna tap into the left-hand path, you should be responsible with spiritual hygiene. Make sure that you clean your body up, right? Make sure that you clean your mind up and whatnot, because you don't want to get these powers and then you turn into a Dr. Doom versus a Dr. Strange and whatnot, because you didn't clean up the trauma that your ass was going through, the baby mama drama. You didn't clear up certain type of losses that you have taken and whatnot. You went on the dark side, and then now you're getting even more darker because you're allowing this shit to come to somewhat entice you, right? To bring out this dark side, but that dark side is really you just trying to heal and whatnot. Do the shadow work, do the work, fix yourself, my nigga, and then come back and you can help others. Because I'm seeing people pick up the mantle and whatnot, and they're causing more harm than actual help. And I could just say the 50-part series on Nature Boy at Hood Horrors and whatnot. Not to say that he took on the occultism, but later on when he began to spiral and whatnot, he did pick up aspects of occultism, and he did pick up aspects of narcissistic personality disorder and delusions of grandeur and whatnot, to where he was like, I don't got to answer to nobody, to the point that nigga had a transformer on his team, and people were just, they were watching that shit. They were going along with it. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
That's
And the
crazy.
sad thing, which the grifters, they double down on their support for these grifters, which is amazing. And so, like you said, a great personality, an orator, take his shirt off, and next thing you know, he's protected by individuals who will attack you.
Right.
You know what I mean? With everything they have,
Everything. Right.
everything to prove their leader or whoever
Right.
it is who they supposed
Because
to be.
parasocially, that's their husband. And
Right.
vicariously, that's their father. Parasocially,
Right.
that's their husband, that's their man, that's their king. And through the boys and whatnot, that's their dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And these were men that had father issues and mama issues, but they because in the word occult is the word cult.
Mhm.
Let's keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So they're throwing
Yes.
out all of these concepts. Some of them don't make no sense whatsoever. But people living parasocially and vicariously through their leaders, who they say, "I like this guy." Whenever you hear somebody say that they like a nigga, you gotta be, you might be dealing with
Yeah.
some type of
Yeah.
psychosis or some type of parasocialness, and you gotta. Now I'm looking at you, you know what I mean, through the third eye, because I'm like, you might be a stalker. You don't even know the
Facts.
information. You just know the personality.
Why do you think, and I know Dot has to go soon, why do you think, in terms of one of the biggest problems when it comes to people getting involved in spirituality is they feel as though nobody can relate to them and everybody's an NPC and they're the special chosen one and just nobody's on their frequency.
Right.
Why do you think that everything seems, relationship wise, to come before finding somebody, being around somebody with a good heart? Give you an example. So, people who have this new spiritual knowledge, they will look for somebody who knows about astrology before they find somebody with a good heart. They will look for somebody who's a vegan before they look for somebody who has a good heart. They will look for somebody who knows about Moore's law before they find somebody who has a good heart. They will look for somebody who knows about esoteric information before they look for somebody. It's always intellectual pursuit before it's a pursuit of finding an individual with a good heart. And the heart is the quantum operator in this realm, or one
Mm.
of the most. It's the most important aspect of our technology in this realm. But it seems as though the spiritual intellectuals look for that last when it comes time for looking or pursuing a relationship. Everything comes before it. Astrology, veganism. This nigga could be, or she could be a divine feminine. All of that shit comes before just finding somebody who has a good heart space. Why do you think that is?
Mm.
Let me answer that really quick, 'cause that's very powerful.
Yeah.
When the heart is open, you're loved well. A lot of these women, in particular, have not been loved well, so they reach out and they're looking for all of the external things to fill that space and to quantify that in the spiritual realm. If you haven't been spiritually loved and have a beautiful heart, you start looking for the astrology numerologist, and that will never fill that space. So, me
Mm.
personally, I'm looking for the heart first. My wife don't have to be into none of that. But if the heart chakra is open and she can receive and we can build, because all else is negotiable at that point. Once I'm loved well and loved properly, I can go out into the world and do my work. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because we all have a work to do. When you put the cart in front of the horse, in essence, and you're looking to get with somebody who can study with you, and but that's not love. Somebody who knows astrology better than you do, or this, that. And I'm looking for a sister who can, I'm not looking for none of that. I'm looking for my heart to lead me and guide me where I'm supposed to be. And the new religion is going to be love all the way across the board. I don't care how you dress it up. Love for nature, love for life, love for music, love for living, love for humanity. As corny as that shit may sound, if we don't synchronize on there, none of that other shit matter, because all that other stuff is stuff you already know it's inside of you, but you don't have the gateway open to go search it because the heart chakra was closed. The heart chakra is the gateway to
Right.
all of
The
them other
GPS.
sciences. That it's the GPS.
Right.
And if that shit is closed, you'll never reach the levels of astrology, numerology, occult
Mm.
science, and spiritual awareness that you're looking for, because you can't get through the door, nigga. The door's still
Mm.
closed.
Mm.
Dot,
You
Yo,
know?
be easy, Dot. Be easy, Dot.
yo, there
Oh,
was a classic
like that.
episode that me and you did, Dot, on this channel called that We Are in the New Timeline.
Yes.
And we did it about a year ago. So this literally is a follow-up to that show, because we're literally talking about how that timeline has now coalesced, and we literally can all agree that we are now on a new timeline, right? The
Yes.
timeline that I come from in the LIU days was that the heart should be as light as the feather. That was the initial charge that they gave most of us.
Mm.
It was man, know thyself, but it was also followed up with the heart be as light as a feather. So when you crossed anybody's path who had a heavy heart, you was immediately triggered
Right.
and you was like, nah, this person is not for me and whatnot. But I feel that this spiritual pursuit has replaced the religious pursuit. It has been they've taken off the flock and they put it on the dashiki. It is the same pursuit that people find inside of the church and whatnot. So they're approaching this thing from an intellectualism. It's like altar boys looking for deacons and whatnot. People come into this thing and they like, yo, I'm a vegan. I'm looking for a person that's more vegan than me. So I could do what? Not so I could empathize with them, not so I could be compassionate with them, so I could copy them, so I could clone them and whatnot. So this is an era of cloning, the revenge of the clones and whatnot.
Wow.
People will come amongst you and they will attach themselves like a succubus or incubus and whatnot, and they will clone you like a
Yes.
parasite clones the human DNA. But they're
Yeah.
not coming at it from a place to heal their hearts and whatnot. They're not coming at it from a place to quote unquote lighten their hearts and whatnot. Because if they were to lighten their hearts, it would be an easier job than what it has pursued, this intellectual pursuit, because it's an endless pursuit, because it is a bottomless pit, right? There's no
Yes.
limit of books to read. There's no limit. I could give you book lists upon book lists for every day for 30 years and whatnot. You'll never be able to read all of the books. You'll never be able to philosophize and ponder on all of the things to ponder upon. You'll never be able to solve all of these problems and whatnot. So it is religion. It's the new form of religion. It's mental masturbation and whatnot. It's people
Mm.
circle jerking and whatnot. They're not solving anything. It's not dealing with empathy. It's not dealing with compassion. It's not dealing with healing. It's not dealing with the heart. It's dealing with the ego.
Yes. Check. Check.
You
And
know,
I
And
don't
with that
want to
being
be,
said,
I don't want
Rich.
to point fingers. And I
hold,
said this before because go ahead.
well, let Dot, because get Dot.
No,
What you,
no, no. Speak that piece. Say, I want to
okay,
hear that.
okay.
There was a break in consciousness, and if there was a fracture that happened, and the best way that I could relate to it was the movie The Matrix. There was a scene in The Matrix where somebody who was safely in Zion, who was trusted by the people, who made the crossed over and was leading people back into their hearts. That person sat down and ate steak, and his name was Cypher and whatnot, and he was sitting with Agent Smith. So the day that the person that had a lot of momentum in this community decided that they wanted to sell this community out to be back in the Matrix was the day that this whole shit fell apart. And that brother is polite. And I don't mean to kick
Mm.
nobody when they're down and whatnot, but he was the cipher who traded all of this shit that the master teachers and the ancestors built up to be a part of the Matrix. And after he did that, this whole shit started to fall apart. Bambada got exposed. Sarnetta got bodied by young Pharaoh and Seti and whatnot. They basically did him like Gotti and them did Poli Castellano as Sparks and whatnot.
Mm.
They
Mhm.
rode on the boss, right?
Mhm.
All of this shit started to fall apart. This is a sacred space. And if it's
Thank
not
you.
treated sacred, if it's not done sacred, if all of the ceremonies and the acts are not done in sacredness, if the teachers are not being brought to the stage in sacredness, if they're not being saged down spiritually, if they're not being quote unquote honored by the elders and whatnot, if none of that is taking place, then you will see the psychosis. So the spiritual psychosis is a residue and a remnant of this shit falling apart.
I
Now,
got 5 minutes, Rich.
yup.
Wifey just told me I got 5 minutes.
Okay, good, great. I got one more question. Let me just say, that was a phenomenal hour, gentlemen. I definitely, because this is a serious show to me, because the family, I want them to be safe out there on the internet. Even if they don't resonate with me, just don't watch my channel. I'm not for you. So I love the maturity that you two have approached this topic with. Let me continue because I know Doc got to go. Based on what Red said, I had somebody ask me one time, and a couple of people asked me, but I had email me, DM me, or something, throughout the course of years. And I remember one time, in particular, individual asked me, in terms of all the spiritual information, they said, "Yo, Rich," they said, "if this is a hologram, an illusion, the Matrix, as Red just talked about, why be good? Why go so hard to eat this or to do this or to do that or do that? Why do any of this shit? This shit ain't even real, Rich." And what I told him, and I would love to get your response, what I told him is that you got to do what you feel is in your heart. Like, I do this shit because I got a genuine love for what I do. I get joy out of doing what I do. It reminds me of, I like to use Black Hood examples because that's where I come from. It reminds me of the movie Paid in Full. And Rich Porter was talking about selling drugs, and he said, and AZ was telling him about getting out the game. Rich said, but I love this shit. Like, Red, I love this shit. I couldn't be in this long. Y'all see people last 2, 3, 5, 10 years tops,
Right.
and 80% of the people is out of here in 10 years.
Out of here.
I'm talking about 20 years. I'm still on top of this shit. I love this shit. Even if I complain about life, I love the journey. I love this shit. I love the hustle. I love the grind. That's how I make. That's why I'm good at making money. That's why I'm good at some. I love the grind of all this. I can't front. I don't know. I don't think I'm addicted to it. I don't think I'll keep coming back to humanity. But I get genuine joy out of this. So that's why I do what I do, and that's why I move the way I move. Red and Black Dot. If this is just a matrix, why the f do y'all go so hard at me a particular way? If this is just an illusion.
Even if it's an illusion, it is my job to master this illusion so I don't have to come back and deal with this shit no more. Right? So good and evil is a subjective thing. We get that. You know what I mean? Based on, because the universe does not see good and, oh, that was a good thing Doc did, or that was an evil thing. It is all vibration. You can, and what Crawley was saying is that I have figured out that all is mental, and I can pull into my universe anything I want. But all he wanted to pull in was evil. So that's all he experienced. Where if you want to pull something else in, as our ancestors say, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we're down in an avatar trying to figure things out. Now, I say that because some people use that as a cop-out. Well, my life is fucked up. Don't matter anyway. No, your life, this is not your life. This is a projection of who you are in the middle of assimilation, which is still a goddamn test that you have, unless you have to keep coming back and doing this shit over and over. So I am trying to master self. Now, master self don't always mean so-called positive things or what you perceive as positive. Shit, I might be in a booty club smacking some ass later because that's where my spirit takes me, right? And so we have to free ourselves from dogma. We got to free ourselves from all of that. But while we are here, what experience do you want? If you want to be a bum on the corner, then that's your experience. Accept that. Do not look at me like I'm running in place because I'm in the pursuit of higher frequencies. Side note, my show has been canceled, so I'm going nowhere.
Oh, you talking about?
Yeah, my other show has been canceled. I just got word.
Okay.
And so I am going
locked
nowhere.
in.
Okay. Is there everything all right though, Dad? Everything all right?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. Malcolm said he had something else to do, and so we,
Indeed. What? Damn. Let me. I forgot what. Red, you already responded to that, right? Because
no, he didn't.
I was letting Doc.
Okay, that's right. Okay, go ahead,
No,
Red.
I was finished. I was simply saying, this is not who I am. I am a projection here as a multiplicity of experiences, and so I want to enjoy this experience for what I'm here for. Do you let me do me?
Indeed.
Red, right. This whole thing is like a video game. Right, it's basically what you make it. All is mental, man. You know what I mean? Man is mind and whatnot. So mentally, I'm going to decide that I'm going to take this. This is a marathon. I want this marathon to be a victory lap, and I know what it takes to win, and I know what winning looks like, and I know what losing looks like. I know if I do some loser shit that I'm a loser. Right at that moment and whatnot. I know what going against my pure nature is. I know what going against my higher self feels like, looks like, and I'm not going to play ignorant when I'm doing it. Right. I know when I go against my better judgment. So morality is objective and whatnot, but right and wrong is those two entities that live on your left and right soldier and whatnot. You have your voice speaking to you. It's telling you what not to do and what to do. There's that voice that tells you take one more step when you're completely out of breath and you want to lay down and whatnot. there's that second win and whatnot. You feel me? It's not there to hurt you. It's there to help you because you have enough lived experience to be like, yo, my second win wasn't lining me up. That shit really told me to keep running, and I kept running, and I got a new win and whatnot. I did 5 extra miles, bro.
Indeed.
Where did that come from? You feel me? I was in the studio, and my brain was hurting and whatnot, and I didn't think I had it in me, but I kept pushing and whatnot, and I wrote the hook of my career. You feel me? I'm so proud of myself. Like I literally cried in the mirror because I did something that I almost tapped out. I almost counted myself out. I almost packed up. But something pushed me, and I listened to it, and I didn't pack up, and I caught the W on some Jalen Brunson shit. And now I'm seeing all of my enemies get together and click up and whatnot. What is that a testament? That's a testament of my power. If you don't have people betting against you, if you don't have enemies, you're not even in the fucking game, bro. Let's stop worrying about who's against us, and let's start focusing on the fact that they bet against us. The fact that they bet against us is the fact that if you win the chip, my nigga, on some Vegas type shit, that means you win more. That means you even took home more of a bag. If so many people bet, if the odds was so much against you, all you got to do is win now. So if doing anything in that process is not involved with the motherfucking W, then you're playing to lose. Bottom line.
Indeed. I like that comment right there. This is a great bill. Shit feel like 2014. I like that comment right there. Got a question, a quick comment before I ask this question. I just want to give an example to people of how to think, not think, but how to like know thyself, and only you can know thyself. Nobody can teach you that. So just a quick example. So I'm writing notes as y'all talking. I got a little notebook. I'm writing notes, and I couldn't find a pen. I'm using a pencil, and as I'm writing, I realized I don't like writing notes with a pencil because, and this only pertain to me, but you have to know yourself. Right. Nobody could have taught me. Rod Hayes, Phil Valentine, they can't teach me this. I gotta realize it myself. So as I'm writing, I said, damn, I don't like writing pencil. And I said, why, Rich? And I said, because it's harder for me to read, and because it's harder for me to read, it's my brain is slower processing information. I want my brain to breeze through the information. So when I write the pen, I could breeze through it, and I'm able to tap in at a faster rate. So that's just an example of nobody teaches you certain shit. You teach yourself certain shit, and you got to observe little minute details like that, so you could be the best version of yourself. Moving on. I love that. Thank you, my brother. Moving on to the next question. I want to ask y'all, do you think, because sometimes with the psychosis spiritually, people feel as though, you know, these people are not grounded. They don't have balance. Do you think that is important for somebody who's into consciousness or getting involved in spirituality? Is it important to still have friends that are not into spirituality or consciousness, because that friends or family may ground you to a certain level where you feel as though you're not going to Mars next year, or you're not doing this? Because some people will say, well, that's not a match frequency wise, Rich. You can't be with them people. But some people may agree with that.
Herb question.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Doc. Man. You want to? Well,
real quick, the movie Inception, right, introduced us to the totem, right? Leonardo DiCaprio had the totem and whatnot, and the totem was able to help him ground and help him to be grounded in the reality, because there's a reality that we're all grounding in that is our foundation and whatnot. No matter who we become, and no matter what type of butterfly we form into, we still have to have what is known as foundation, a point of reference. What is a point of reference? A point of reference is you running into your day one, and your day one saying, damn, nigga, you've changed. I remember when you used to have runny nose type shit. You was a bum, my nigga. Now look at you. You fresh to death. And it's like, that's not an insult. That's literally a point of reference where somebody could be your quote unquote time measurement, right? Similar to what music is, a time machine. The 30-year Reasonable Doubt is a time machine because it allowed my 1996 self a time to breathe and whatnot. I was literally transported back into 1996, the whole mind state, the energy, the frequency, and all of that. And I did certain things in that time zone, but that window has now closed, right? So we all have points of reference to where we started our journey on. Once again, hero's journey, personal. Only we know what it is. There's people that know you by your government, but inside of the community, your supreme being, Allah Rashad, you know what I'm saying? The third and whatnot. Don't nobody know that innocent person, but somebody from your childhood who you stay in touch with. When you pick up the phone, they like, "What up, nigga?" And you like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? That is your outlet to where you could be Rashad again. And then you able to be the supreme being, Allah the third and whatnot. You put that mask on, you're in front of the stage and whatnot. But where is your outlet to be Rashad at? Because if you don't have that outlet to be that person that takes off that mask and whatnot, and you know, you take your bra off, you take your shoes off, and you just butt ass naked in the crib. These people who know you from your sandbox and whatnot, they know butt ass you. They know the butt ass version of you. That's what a spouse is. That's what the children who know that, you know, you got children that will speak to the parent and not the entity, not the avatar, not the personality, not the alter ego. They don't know Black Dot. They know Dwayne, nigga.
Yes.
You feel me?
Right.
And when they speak to Dwayne, they will humble Dwayne. I was with Wisdom Bella for about 2.5 weeks. You feel me? I wasn't online that much. I wasn't on my phone that much. I was just locked in to a young girl who knows her father. She don't really know red pill. She was sitting back
and
listening.
She don't care about none of that shit either.
Huh? Don't care about none of that shit. Was able to bring me. I was living like Philip for a few weeks and not red pill, and I needed that in a sense. I was with my dad and I was with my daughter and I was with the cat named Charlie and whatnot, and then I was with Amir. I needed that. I needed people to not call me red pill. I needed people to not talk to me about AI. I needed people to not speak to me. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I had my hair all crazy and out. I wasn't trying to impress nobody. I was just me for a minute. And that is important. And we need to all have that.
And that's an excellent analysis, because I too was going to speak of the totem. And so the totem being that reference point of your people who will ground you. You know what I mean? Your people, a perfect example, when 9/11 happened, I was in a frenzy, bro. You know what I mean? Right. Literally, like, yo, the world is going to end. Yo, the elders have been telling us about this. Yo, I got to get my water. And I went to the hood, and the niggas in the hood was just out there barbecuing. You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, what you calling yourself now? Dizzle Dot, whatever that shit is. Right. Yeah, so we are. And what it did for me, it broke a temporary spell. You know what I mean? That our people are on a whole nother frequency. And I tell people when the holidays come, they get mad at me, but I say, go spend time with your family, your A1 from day one. I know you don't eat that shit they do. Don't go preaching. Don't go judging. Your aunt wants to see Dwayne. She don't want to see Black Dot to the 12th power. And she wants to. And since this is a conversation about the heart chakra, those are the places you get the love. You get the love from your day ones, because they don't care. They don't judge about all that. Your aunt just loves you. Right. You know what I mean? And this and that. And when my daughter could give two shits about anything related to Black Dot, she like, yeah, that's cool. She don't care about none of that. Neither do my sons. You know what I mean? And so that grounding point of people who give you the reference point to remind you of where you came from, so you don't drift off, Rich. You don't drift off into space and everything is you on a whole nother planet, and now you're not even reachable or relatable.
You're not relatable,
right? And so now you put yourself on an island. Nobody understands me. No, you don't understand yourself. You know what I mean? You've lost the reality of yourself. You know what I mean? So now you on an island drifting, and then you double down on your so-called spiritual journey. Let me also say this. We use this term a lot, coming into consciousness. You don't come into anything. You are consciousness. It's all around you. I understand we use it as a reference, but a lot of people are taking this shit literally. I'm getting ready to walk into consciousness, like as if you were not conscious prior. You were always conscious. Your journey is to walk into a space in which this can now, open up to you.
Right. It's an
But you are
awareness
everything
now.
you was. It's an
Right.
awareness now. You don't walk into consciousness like you walk into the house.
Right.
You know what I
Because
mean?
because when you become aware, you like, yo, I've been conscious. I'm just aware that
The
I was
whole
doing
time.
shit and I wasn't aware of why I was doing it, but I've been doing this.
Yes.
You are who you was before you got here.
Absolutely. Go read The Alchemist again
You
to
can't.
understand.
I'm
Yes.
giving up this conscious shit. Bye. Like
How?
how could you you gotta be careful
Please.
about how you say
Do
things.
I know? Do we give Jay-Z the credit for that quote, or did he get that from somewhere? I was who I was before I got here.
Well, I
Yeah.
use him as a reference
Yeah.
because he ain't lying. You are who you are before you got here. You can change, but that's just the top layer in
Mm,
reference to you're trying to write a new code over who you already are.
Right.
And that shit only works temporarily. You know
mm.
what I'm saying? I'm temporarily doing this shit right here, but at the root and core, I am who I am. I am that I am. I am.
Right. So that goes into birth charts. That goes into your molecular, you got to get your genome readout and everything. That goes into your DNA. What's your background? That goes into your placements on a chart. You got you have a GPS already. You have a map. You're already mapped out. You literally have a
Mm-hmm.
system. Man, know thyself. Do everything in your powers to figure out all aspects of self. There's 99 attributes to God and whatnot, to Allah. You were on a
Mm-hmm.
mission to discover all of them, primarily through experience. If you really want to keep it a buck, I was sharing with
Yes.
about it the other day. Like, I could tell the nuances of a person who is just experiencing shit or who's just reading from a book. Case in point, me, you, and Doc could sit down with a person who climbed Stone Mountain, and then we could sit down and listen to a person who read about Stone Mountain. There was people who were opposed to us going on Stone Mountain. They was making videos saying that we was in a cult. But in the first 3 minutes, I know that they never climbed Stone Mountain. They were only going off of the Stone Mountain from the internet. Then there was videos of people who went on Stone Mountain, and from the first 3 minutes, I could tell, my nigga, they climbed Stone Mountain. So that goes right back into even consciousness. There's people that haven't spent the day inside of their consciousness to even know what the fuck a conscious community is. There's people that never sat in a conscious community setting. They just been on YouTube talking about conscious community. That's not the conscious community. That is not consciousness, right? So there's people who are speaking about things from a third eye perspective, from a parasocial, from a vicariousness, from a third person view, but then there's people talking about lived experiences. I'm into the lived experience aspect.
Yes.
That's where we represent the authenticity of lived experiences. And if I didn't live it, I will speak on it from a perspective where I did not live this shit. I don't know of it, but I know about it. Right? So
and so when I speak of hip hop,
difference.
I speak of hip hop from a lived experience, from
Right.
Cedar Park, from the Ecstasy Garage, Galaxy 2000, Echo Park, Bronx River, from being a little shorty in the park. So when it was time to sit down and write Hip Hop Decoded, it was so easy because it was from a lived experience.
It's in you and not on you.
Yes.
You don't have to
Yes.
buy these clothes.
Right.
This is the spirit. So my experience right, exactly. So I'm living my lived experience from hip hop is I was in the tunnel in 1994. I was at the Palladium. I was outside. I
Right.
was in Macy's on 34th Street in 1991, running out the side door with a bunch of polo. Like I lived this shit. I rode the trains with the Deceps and didn't get robbed and whatnot. I went on Rikers Island with my polo on. I did get caught once, but I got it back. You know what I'm saying? I was very drippy and whatnot. I survived shit. You feel me? I got cut before. I got stabbed and whatnot. I got shot at and whatnot. These are survival type of experiences. There were songs that I was listening to while I was surviving. There were songs that I was listening to that helped me survive. There were songs that I listened to that was the victory lap upon my survival. I got survival's remorse and whatnot. So certain things mean certain things to me that another person from another side of this planet or another side of New York would be like, I can't relate to, son. And that's all good and that's understandable. But many can. And that is exactly who I speak. I just speak to my experiences. It's not to indoctrinate. It's only to share.
Absolutely.
So, real quick personal story before I ask the next question. And I like the reason why I like sharing these little, like I told you a little earlier about the pencil, whatever, is because with so much of the information on YouTube being similar or regurgitated or from books and everybody's just saying the same thing, the main thing that's new is your personal story. So if you tell me a personal spiritual journey that you went through or just a quick story, that's completely unique. Nobody on YouTube can tell you that or can repeat that. That's completely you, unless somebody just try to clone you like Red Pill say. But real quick, because somebody y'all was talking earlier, and somebody said you are who you are when nobody's looking. And they usually say that about spirituality. One thing I noticed that I noticed, and I was like, damn, okay, at least I know I'm on the right track. Sometimes, I swear, sometimes like I'll be in the house, I'll be in the crib, and you know how you'll just be in the zone, you be in your imagination thinking, and I'll be so zoned out, and I may just be smiling or I may just start laughing, and then I remember people around me. So I say, oh shit, let me not smile so much because they gonna think I'm bugging out. So and I think myself, well, at least I'm on the right track. If I am who I am when nobody's looking, goddamn, I'm enjoying myself. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I'm poor, I'm raggedy. Nah, nigga, I'm popping. Yo, when nobody's looking, nigga, I'll be having a good time. I have such a good time that I gotta tone it down. So a motherfucker think I'm not bugging out. I have to tone it down sometime, bro. So that's how I know. That's how I know. Like I'll be like, all right, I'm on the right track. If I gotta tone it down, that means I'm having a real good time in my mind. That was a quick story. I'm gonna tell a couple of those, but
because the opposite of that is horrific.
Yeah. Yes. That's why I said that.
Saying?
Yes. That's why I said that because the
opposite of that is scary, bro.
Yep. That's why. Thank you. Yeah.
Spiritual warfare, psychosis, and things of that nature. People in the box going through it and whatnot. I witnessed all of that. It's not a good look. You know, it is not a good look. It gets scary and whatnot.
Yeah. I wanna let me ask this, Red. Let me ask this. What is it called? I'm not a big gym guy like that. I work out, but I don't hit the weights. What you know how when you hit the weights and they be like, in order to get the muscle, you need
resistance training.
No, not. What is it called? You need resistance. That's what it is. Resistance. All right. The resistance is what creates the muscle, right?
Yes.
All right. So, and this question is obviously is directed, well, not strictly for men, but I want the men to learn from this answer that these gentlemen I'm about to give. If we go to the gym, fellas, and we need the resistance to get the muscle that we're looking for, if we don't get the resistance, we're not going to get the muscle. My question for Dot and my question for Red Pill is one of the things that conscious men do is when they reach a certain level of spirituality is they don't want, and they're looking for a woman, they don't want women that give them any resistance. They usually find a woman who agrees with the majority of what they say. My question to y'all is it important to find a woman and when you reach a certain level of spirituality or you're trying to reach a certain level that's giving you some form of resistance, and we may take it as something negative, but this is the woman that's going to help you reach that ultimate godhood. Is that important? And when it comes to finding a woman, just like it's important in the gym, gentlemen.
Damn, you
well, let me he asked us some amazing goddamn questions.
Thank you.
Resistance is relevant to the individual. So if you're looking to have your ego stroked, right, as a lot of men are, they find these timid women who just go along with them, and then they realize she's not being timid. She has mastered you because she's intelligent. Women are intelligent, quantum intelligent, and they have mastered you to the point where they allow you to think that you are in control when they are really in control, because all they need to do is act like they are in agreement with you, but the resistance you're talking about, in my humble opinion, is honesty, right? And so for
Mm.
me, my resistance is my wife saying, nigga, please, right? And so you need to tighten this up. I'm cool with all that space moon shit you talking, but in reality, this is who you are. Can you accept it? I am the greatest witness of your life, Black Dot. I've been with my wife 30 years, right? And so she is the greatest eyewitness of my greatness, my fallacy, my shortcomings. And that's what love is. Love in a relationship is being able to be humbled as a man to where you can show all sides of you and have a woman who's strong enough to pump you up when you need it, but give you the resistance
Mm-hmm.
when you need it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so my wife is the best at providing the resistance because I'll go off on a dream tangent
Oh
and be
yeah.
in my head doing amazing shit, and she'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, no, that's not happening." And she'll tell me, no, you're not gonna overtalk me. You know what I mean? And this and that. And we built that. So some dudes is looking for just the wisdoms to stay in their so-called place. I want to be challenged. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because all men are great in their minds. But in reality, we all have shortcomings. The greatest women are the ones who can protect your shortcomings from the world. Because people think, I know you don't think Dr. King or Malcolm were perfect men in any way, you know what I'm saying? But they had women around them who was able to protect their shortcomings. So in my humble opinion, that resistance has to come from somebody who's not afraid of you and to be honest with you. Because I'm honest. Tell me the truth. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Tell me the truth if you love me. And because that honesty is qualified by love, Rich. If
Mm-hmm.
I know you love me, Red Pill, I love you like there's no end of the world. And if you're doing something out of pocket, I'm gonna tell
Hmm.
you out of love. It ain't no ego involvement, nigga. You out of pocket with that.
Right.
What are you talking about? And because you have to act one time, and this is a short story. Malcolm, he didn't tell me he was drinking milk. First of all, he's lactose intolerant. His breath would light up a fucking room.
Oh man.
No matter, he can light up outside. Now you know your breath got to be fucking on fire. And I said to him, if I'm talking about it, your friends are talking about you behind your back. They have to be because your breath is so atrocious.
Oh
And
god.
then I looked him in his face and said, I'm your dad. Do you think I'm telling you this because I want to hurt you or because I love you? And when he looked at it like that, he said, Dad, you love me. So I said, now take that information and go with
Mm.
it. Come to find out, it wasn't a big issue. The nigga was just drinking milk, telling me he wasn't. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I'm like, nigga, that's milk. The minute he stopped the milk, he was back in alignment. And
Mm.
so I'm in line with that.
So the resistance that you speak of that faces us in the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
What certain men are looking for in a relationship is what Black Dot pointed out. We're not looking necessarily for the resistance because the resistance is life. We wake up every day to resistance,
Right.
right? We're looking for a spotter, okay? A partner in a gym that's
Mm.
going to help us push
Yo.
these weights and will not let it crush us, right? We're looking for a spotter. We're
Shit.
looking for somebody who can stand with us, stand over us, and stand by us while we push these weights and while we deal with this resistance and whatnot. The resistance will get us stronger. The resistance will help us with our inner strength and whatnot. The resistance will build us up with muscle memory and whatnot. But if we have a faulty partner who is not a good spotter, that weight can crush us underneath the pressure and whatnot because we
Salute.
will trust that person to protect us, take on more weight than we naturally could necessarily push and whatnot. And then right there in mid push, our spotter can walk away from us and we'll be asked out
Um,
because that weight needs to be and it needs to settle somewhere. It will wind up settling either on your chest or your neck, right?
mm,
So I welcome a challenge in all aspects of life. I welcome someone challenging me. I'm welcoming life challenging me. But what I do need to know is that I don't have anyone around me that will sabotage me while I'm facing my challenge. If I find any signs of saboteurs or any signs of sabotage amongst my spotters and whatnot, I will get
It's a
rid of
wrap.
you on a whim. It's a wrap. I can't work out with you in the same room anymore. Right. But if you can help me with that weight, if you can help me with that quote unquote, if you can help push that weight, if you can help me with my weight training, then you found a partner in me.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
I want to get before we get out of here, we got about 20 25 20 to 25 more minutes left. I don't want to keep them on past 2 hours. I appreciate Dot and Red for coming on. I want to get to some questions from the family. So load up the chat with some great questions. This has been a phenomenal show, y'all. I mean, phenomenal. This is a great show for anybody. If you know anybody just getting into the information, this is a great show for them to watch to prepare them for the journey. But yeah, let me get some questions in the chat for anybody who got any questions for Red and Dot. I see somebody earlier said I need the cigar or drop the link for the cigars. About to drop the link. Keep in mind there is a 3 to 4 week wait period for the cigars, and part of that reason is family. One of the beautiful things, besides the fact that these come from Honduras, besides the fact that they're all natural, besides the fact that the water that they use is not contaminated, besides the fact that there's zero chemicals in here, besides the fact that these are some of the most sacred cigars in the world, what's beautiful is that not many hands touch it before it gets to you. So I got like some of my family friends like, yo, Rich, let me help you package it, whatever, but I can't have too many hands touching them. So where they're made in in Honduras, where they're made at, a few amount of people touch them. So they don't even allow people in the community where they make these at, and it's in
Wow.
Corona where their
Wow.
mines are. But these, I don't just let anybody package them, because when you package them, you gotta put your hand on them. I don't even put the sticker on the cigar. The sticker is on the plastic. Nothing touches this cigar. I touch it. I make sure I wash my hands. My attention is, I'm in love with them. So I got a great relationship with them. So not many people touch these. So it takes a little time because I'm really doing a lot of it on my own, and that is on purpose. That is intentional, because I don't want that many hands on this. This is not just a money scheme where I'm like, I got a factory and 5 people do this, 5 people.
You cranking them out.
It's not that. No. Not many hands touch these, and there's not many products in the world where people could say that. So I encourage all of y'all to donate. Those who donate 30 or more get gifted a cigar. It depends on how much you donate, more than that. But I just put the link in the chat. These are absolutely incredible. I'm gonna make sure I have me one tonight. Dot, I wanted to ask you before we get to the Q&A. I'm coming to New York this week. Are you able to meet us at the studio? I don't know what your schedule's like. Maybe Thursday.
What day?
Thursday night.
Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna be at Center Stage in Central Park. My old DJ Lou Breakbeat Flores, who did the Ultimate Breaks and Beats series.
Yeah.
They're celebrating 40 years of the Ultimate Breaks and Beats. So Lord Finesse, Nice and Smooth, Brand Nubian, they're all gonna be out there performing. So I'll do that early. And what time? Yeah, I'm coming to the studio session because I need to be on this damn album. How about that?
Yes.
And even just to say a word, I gotta say something. Goddamn.
Indeed, indeed.
So yeah, I'll be there.
I'll call you tomorrow and get details and give you the details and whatnot. Before I get to them, one last question about the cigars. Do you meditate before? No, but I do give thanks. I don't know if you would call that meditating, but I'm always saying giving my appreciation to the cigars. Just the smell. Once I smell them, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Thanks for coming into my life, into my presence. I'm thankful to be in the conduit, or if that's the right term, from me to you. So it is truly a blessing, and I always give thanks to them. This is truly tobacco. That's a spirit that our ancestors were very familiar with. I want to get to this first super chat question. Dot, what do you, and I'm gonna share that link once again. Dot, what do you guys make of the sacred disease of the gods? I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea. This is the first time I've ever even heard of that. So I gotta refrain from speaking of sacred disease of God, that I'm not too familiar with.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Let me see. Let's get to some more. I don't red stepped off, so I don't know. Uh, let me see. What just hear me. Okay.
Maybe the
Brother,
person can reframe the question. Yeah.
yeah, reframe that question. Brothers, please speak on panic attacks. Thank you kindly. Okay. Dot, you want to talk on anxiety attacks?
Well, anxiety attacks come from so many different things. Normal pressure in life, the way this construct is designed to keep you under pressure. Go to work, you got to make money. Social media now, you got to be somebody you're not. And so, and your spirit knows that this is wrong. All of this is wrong. And so when these things converge all in you at once, you can find yourself having, a panic attacks, and you need to breathe slowly. You need to breathe slowly and slow this thing down. You can slow this thing down. Do not be fooled. You know what I mean? Because I too wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, and I just have so much anxiety, and I gotta sit on the edge of my bed, and I gotta breathe slow, and I gotta slow this thing down. And for me, I try to get to the gist of what I feel may be causing that panic attack. Is there a bill due that, a series of things, that happened at once that overwhelmed me? So, it's funny because I'm telling my daughter, she's working and this and that. We got to sit down and work out your finances. And she's going, leave me alone. I got anxiety thinking about that. So her anxiety is growing up, becoming an adult. And so I have to deal with that with a measured sense of, preparing her. But there's so many different things that can cause panic attacks. Sometimes you need to just eat you a gummy or something. You know what I mean? Slow yourself down and just relax. Because at the end of the day, none of it is important. You're going to find out all of the stuff that you worry about, none of it actually comes to pass. And this too shall pass, as my wife always says. You know what I mean? So just kind of calm yourself down, relax, breathe, and get into a quiet space, because quiet spaces now are sacred. Our elders
Yeah.
understood the importance of a meditation room or something. This generation, everything is coming at you full speed and so fast, and social media, you're on your phone all day, that you don't carve out quiet space to just think about things, slow them down, and realize there is no spoon.
Mm, indeed, indeed. I
Yeah.
don't know, Red. Did you hear the question? I don't.
Yep.
Go ahead, Red. You wanna talk on that?
Yeah. Before I do touch on that, I did want to tap in the earlier question about the sacred disease,
Right.
and that was epilepsy. If that's
Oh,
what the
okay.
person was speaking about, the sacred disease was
Oh,
epilepsy. It goes all the way back thousands of years, people having seizures and whatnot. And
oh, okay.
it was called the sacred disease because it was understood that that was an intervention back in those days, that God was downloading in you when you having seizures out of nowhere. That was seen as an intervention, that was seen as somewhat of a download and whatnot. That could have been seen as a spiritual psychosis in those days and
Mm,
whatnot. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
they were seen as being touched by God
Mhm.
and whatnot.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Yes, yes, yes. And the question that you had answered, Dot, just now,
Yes.
that was
About
about
panic attacks.
the right. So
People having
boom.
panic attacks. Yeah.
Right. So the panic attacks, remember they said that depression is you harping about the past, and anxiety is you harping about the future and whatnot. But they all,
Yes.
like Dot
Yes.
said, it's all dealing with false expectations. It's not real. It doesn't come to pass. How many times have we heard on this channel and other channels about things that were supposed to happen and they never happened? How many times did we go throughout this our lifetime, and there were end of the earth days that they threw that they threw out at us, the Y2K days, and the rapture was coming, and this meteor was supposed to hit this, you know what I mean? All of these things were prophesized, but nothing ever happens, right? That causes anxiety. You have to learn how to be able to watch the movie and not be in it, right? You have to
Yes.
focus on being the observer. If you understanding that this is a simulation, if this is a game, it's going to help you with your heart being lightened as a feather. It's also going to help you with your anxiety. It's going to help you basically be the observer, be the owl that's perched on the branch 360 watching the shit. You're not in it though. You're not a part of it. You're just observing it and whatnot. Even if you're observing your actual avatar in the movie, you're still not that avatar. You know what I mean? One of my latest trips on the Bufu showed me that, you know, and it was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I was completely observing the avatar, you know what I mean? And it was very interesting and whatnot. And I made a correlation between that black dot that's called the sun and the black dot that's called the pupil that's in our eyes and whatnot, and the aperture in which it is able to expand how much light you're letting in, meaning how much of a reality you're being exposed to and whatnot. Because some people will sit right next to you and they have observed reality in on levels and in ways that you probably would never ever even be able to comprehend nor see, because
That's
that
correct.
amount of light has not entered into your pupils and whatnot. You're not a worthy student, because not to say that you're not worthy, it's just that you might not be on that type of journey. Notice that when you're on a
Yeah.
certain
Right.
specific journey is when you're exposed to this world or what this world has to offer or what's behind the curtain and whatnot. But you actually have to be on that hero's journey in order to even be shown that. Nobody's waking you up out of your sleep and coming in your room and whatnot and showing you the mysteries of the fucking world on a wake-up call. You know what I
Absolutely
mean?
not.
Before they
You
give you
got to be on
breakfast
that
in bed.
journey.
My
Yep.
nigga. So spiritual soft life, I don't know about that. I
Spiritual
know about
life.
the
This dude is
climb up
funny.
Mount
Oh man.
Kilimanjaro with mad bags on your back, carrying a goddamn shopping cart. I know about carrying a shopping cart in Harlem where there was a drop down. I had my son Amir in one arm, right? Had his stroller in one hand, and then I had a shopping cart with bags full of clothes in the other hand, climbing, walking up a walk up in Harlem where they don't have no elevator. It's just a straight drop down the bottom. Anybody in Harlem knows those buildings.
Right, right. And
If somebody pushes you over the side,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
yeah.
It's a wrap. That type of upward mobility, that type of incline and whatnot, that's what I equate consciousness and this spiritual journey to. It's not an elevator ride, nor is it an escalator ride.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
I want to get to a couple of more questions. Y'all got some good ones here. Where did I saved some of them? I want to ask one in particular. Where is this at? Well, let me just ask this for anybody. This sister wants to know suggestions for anybody experiencing spiritual psychosis. Let's get this one out the way.
All right.
Help those who are
right.
Yeah.
On Saturday, I'm looking for the obituary. On Saturday, when I was in New York, I was in the Bronx. I went with my dad to his girlfriend's nephew's funeral. Right. Young man, born in 2007. Right, named KJ, took his own life in a closet. Right, they say that he was, I looked at his obituary. He was wearing cuffs. You know what I mean? He was wearing, he had all of that type of the dressings of somebody that's going through a spiritual awakening. Right, the family was not necessarily on board with where he was going with it. He didn't have nobody that he could build with. He was arguing with family members, right? I'm learning all of this sitting inside of the funeral, right? The family members were up there apologizing to him while he was gone and whatnot about basically not being on the same page as him right? But not only not being on the same page as him, they were apologizing for not being able to be open-minded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people are in families and whatnot, and they're having profound awakenings. They're having profound insights. They're going from butterfly, from caterpillar to butterfly. They're completely seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, and they want to share, being able, they want to share with people that they love and people that they trust and people who know them from the sandbox and whatnot, and they think that those people are going to be happy because they are having their lights of their hearts are beginning to lighten up, and they're having this inner joy for discovering what the truth. And what does the truth do? The
Yes.
truth will lighten up your heart, and it will make you take things less serious. It will cure you from some of your anxiety, and it will show you a path that you are on the right path. So you're not in limbo, and you're not lost, and you're not walking around in the darkness. Nigga, there's a light in the tunnel. There's a there's a rainbow at the end of that light, and that's what you moving towards. So
Mm.
you telling other people, yo, walk through the darkness with me, and they like, hell no, nigga. Don't you know we afraid of the dark? And here it is, you standing in
Yes.
the darkness, feeling lonely and abandoned and whatnot, like nobody wanted to come into the triple darkness with you. But nigga, you was called, not them. They didn't say their names.
Yes.
Nobody heard their names. You out there calling people's names, but you're still going on a journey. How the hell are you calling somebody's name and your name just got called?
Mm. Mm.
That's like winning the lottery and you're bringing other people with you to come and collect, nigga. Their names is not on the goddamn check. Check.
Yes. Right.
So that's
Check.
creating friction within the household. That's creating friction within the workplace. That's creating friction amongst your day ones and whatnot. You're on a journey and you're inviting people on journeys that they were not invited on. Nobody called that no horns went off and their names were not called from the goddamn scroll. Yours was.
Mm.
So go through
Mm.
your journey, experience your journey, utilize Zeus's law. They're sending homeless people amongst you. They're sending thoughts amongst you. They're sending vagabonds amongst you. They're sending dark energy amongst you. But those people are disguised. They are literally your archangel, your guardian angel. Though that's God in the flesh, nigga, and you're not realizing that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing things and you're not realizing what's being done to you. You're being prepared, but you might not realize it because you're looking at it through the wrong lens. You're trying to be smart and shit. You're trying to be smarty supreme, trying to be deep amongst people that did not want to go deep into the waters with you. Stop drowning people
Yes.
in your despairs because you're on a spiritual journey, nigga. That's despair.
Yes.
You want people to be a part of
Yes.
your despair? You understand? You want niggas to be a part of your workout, but they don't have what you have. They're not built like you. So finish your breakfast, and then you could start inviting people.
Indeed.
To
Appreciate it.
lunch.
Yep.
And to add on to that, being God is lonely, right?
Mm.
And so in that loneliness, it's because you were the one chosen. You are the one in every family. You know what I mean? And then what you're gonna find out is trying to be on that path in a world with knuckle draggers pulling a currency, a frequency one way, and you're trying to go against that grain and swim upstream spiritually, right?
Mm.
And you're looking for counterparts and people like you to help you deal with what you can see. Because if you're given sight that other people are not given, I'm talking spiritual now, right? It's a burden to carry when all of your your telekinesis, all your clairvoyance and all of the voyances come online one at a time. That's a lonely place until you can align with others, right? So you're in search of yourself through others, right? And that's very hard to find in your family, who will ridicule you. Your friends, they're not ready for none of that. So you find yourself alone. And when you find yourself alone, you find yourself talking to yourself more, which is not a bad thing. But when you get an echo or reverb of that, and other entities are telling you, take your life, man. Don't even worry about it. You don't belong here. So now you've lost the sense of being grounded, like we spoke about, and being adrift. And in cases like that, a lot of them will take their life. So I say to give the advice for somebody is you have to find likes, and being God is lonely. And what I mean by that is you have to find reference points within the frequency bandwidth that you on to at least let you know that you're okay. You are not alone in the universe, but in your family and amongst your friends, God is lonely. It may just be you at work. And that's a tough burden, especially when you can hear things other people can't hear, or you can see things other people literally can't see, or you can feel things other people can't feel.
Hey Doc, you know how you said, and I've heard a lot of people say being God is lonely. My question to you, a direct question from that statement is being God is lonely, but if you on your God level, you vibrate a certain light, and everybody's attracted to the light, Doc. So why are people who are say they're vibrating on a high vibration lonely when they you automatically attract people because of your light? Not just bad people,
Well,
but a lot of people. So how does these people wind up?
most of the light, most of the light are moths. They
Mm.
just want to drain the energy. Okay, so most of them are just moths, and they want to drain the energy. So they
Okay,
see the
Doc.
light,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And they just want a piece of the energy, but they're
Come
not
on, Doc.
willing to
I knew you.
go with what you've been through or what
Yeah,
it is that you've been. The industry does this a lot, the music industry and the
yeah,
movie industry. So whenever you flowing and they see the light, they can clearly see it. So they send break at you. They send this one, people
yeah,
you looked up to at you, and you think these people are here to help you, and they're just
yeah.
there to steal the light and dim your light. And I speak a lot on my channel about staying within your frequency,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When you stay within your frequency, that's where my power resides. The minute I go above that, that's distortion, just like a mix down,
Woo!
right?
Come on,
So
Doc.
you
Yo,
know you can get it
y'all dropping. I'm
right.
sorry.
So
Yeah,
as the mix down, you get it
yeah,
to where it belongs. Anything above the frequency that you're supposed to be on, distortion. And once distortion comes, confusion comes, and
Mm,
chaos comes. So stay
mm.
within your frequency. It may not be meant for you to sell 1 million copies. Don't mean you're not strong. You're not powerful. You know
right.
what I mean? And so that's important.
Excellent. 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 Wow. What is
Wow.
let's get to the next question. This question is how can Gen X parents wait, how can Gen X grandparents navigate sharing lived experiences with our grandchildren while also respecting the parents' rearing? Great question.
I'm not you answer that shit. I'm a grandparent, right? And my Gen X, this new generation,
Yeah,
and I don't know if Malcolm is listening, they want to do things their way.
that's true.
It's something about them, and part of it, I get it. You learned experiences, but there's something about the eldership. If you want to go up the hill fast, you young people could do that. It's the elders who know the way, and that spiritual bond between the grandchild and the grandparent. I don't think the parents understand the significance of that connection
Mm,
and what it means. I've earned the right to be a grandparent through my lived experiences and raising these children a certain kind of way.
mhm,
And it's no fault of their own. They grew up in a social media era, so they want to do things their way, but the wisdom comes from the grandparents. And all I can say is when you're with them, try to connect with them. It's a connection that not even the parents understand. And I'm not taking shots at parents. This is a deep spiritual relationship, right? They came from where I'm going. And
Right.
so we have that connection. And so we got to work it out, you know.
excellent. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. Yeah, like I just went through this whole experience. This a part of the question. Like literally for the past 15 to 16 days,
Hmm.
the grandfather was my dad. and the grandchildren was my daughter, Pink Pill, and my son Amir, right? And you know, they're bonding and whatnot. So this is how we would bond. Once the Jay-Z show was on Friday, right? And that's the one that Rich and Cam had went to, and they hit me up, yo, you pulling up? I'm like, shit, I might as well, you know, let's make this an experience. Then when I was like, I'm gonna bring my son with me, you know, just to have him with me. And when I asked him about him wanting to go, he didn't want to go. So I was like, shit. I was like, I'm not about to just go and leave them because you know I'm gonna do we're gonna have an experience. So we played Uno, right? And it was me, the father, the two children, and my dad, right? And we're all playing Uno, right? So he's playing his music, he's playing his jazz music because they was like they wanted some music in the background just so we could, you know, when we playing the game, we could just be focused. So he put on some jazz and whatnot, right? So that's him sharing his music and his taste. And you know, certain artists that only a jazz connoisseur like my father, you know, his playlist and whatnot. So you know, they listening and whatnot. And then my son was like, man, turn that shit. Well, he's as he starts to win, he's like, man, turn that shit off. I'm putting his Drake on and whatnot. So my dad now is getting introduced to Drake's catalog while he's playing Uno, right? And then my daughter was like, you know, and as we playing, my daughter's playing TikTok videos, and you know, certain music from that is coming on, right? And then I'm sitting there and I'm talking about I'm playing clips because as I'm playing Uno, I'm on Instagram and I got the Jay-Z clips hitting my phone and shit like that because I'm kind of tight that I'm not there. Rich is already hitting me. Right. Yo, son, this shit is lit. I'm getting draw fours piled up on me and whatnot. I'm like, man, listen, I'm gonna call you back, brother. You know what I mean? Right, so we're bonding through the music. We're respecting each genre or each generation's musical choice and taste. Nobody is like, man, get that shit out of here. That's old head. Da, da, da. We're in the midst of a game, right? We're in the midst of challenging each other. So age and all that shit out the window when you playing Uno, because we're not playing. We got two ways of playing Uno. The first one to reach 500, and then the best of 5. So we're doing the best of 5 and whatnot. So now it's like my father's lived experience is coming through because he knows how to play Uno. Similar to we were playing spades back in the days at the table and whatnot. You bring your date with you. If your daughter has a new boyfriend, well, goddamn it, he got to report to the spades table. We're gonna play some OJs. We're gonna play some Otis Redding. We're gonna ask him about his grandparents and whatnot. Yes. We're gonna beat his ass. We're going to joke about his looks and whatnot. We're going to play the dozens on him, see if he could take a joke, see if he got a sense of humor, see if this nigga got a game in him, see if he got some type of soul and whatnot, see what his family is like. We could sum up every single thing over one game of spades with the family.
That is absolutely true.
And then we'll give a diagnosis on this nigga tomorrow at noon, the latest. Everybody is going to give an assessment as to if he's the right one or not based off of one spades game.
Absolutely.
Do that with consciousness. Do the same type of thing with spirituality and your lived experience with these children. I took my daughter to Central Park, right? I started off by buying something to eat. We went on 86th Street. I went and got something to eat. I took her into the park. I didn't take her directly to Cleopatra's Needle. I eased her over to the I eased her over to the right. I didn't just, yo, we going to see, because that's not what she don't give a damn about Cleopatra's Needle right now. Right. I eased her into the museum, into certain things and whatnot by respecting what she's about, what she's into. And also, I'm like, yo, these is going to look great on TikTok when you're standing behind this artwork and this picture and whatnot. And you put this hashtag on it with this song, you know what I mean? And you do that little dance, that shit going to go viral. I was appealing to her self-interest, right? But I was using my lived experience because my dad did the same thing with me and my brother, right? And bringing us to the museum. And I was able to bring her to the museum and do certain things that way. That's kind of like how I would do it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
For real, right?
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yes.
Let's get to, we're gonna do about two more questions. Let's get to another question. Uh Somebody asks, what are y'all representing on your hats? This is just a quick question. This is just my eternal nature. I believe in the holographic universe and this being a simulation. This is my eternal nature. Nothing could change that. No matter my external affairs can't change that. Meaning, regardless of what I go through in my humanity, I'm eternally a supreme being. Red, you want to talk on your hat? What
Yeah, this right here is the Nagas, right? Not Nassau, but Naga, right? National
Mhm.
Association of Galactical Angels.
Indeed, indeed.
I love it.
Indeed. Get to the next question. Can you guys give a good suggestion for my little sis watching? She's just now tapping into the emotional intelligence conscious communities you guys got going on.
Yes. Oh, I would definitely give a suggestion to your little sis and all little sisters and all little brothers that are tapping in to the conscious community. I would say to go on some of the what we would call the legacy channels and click on the oldest video,
Mm, there you go.
right? Start from the oldest video, but these should be legacy channels. This is a legacy channel. Urban X TV is a legacy channel. Notaledge Media is a legacy channel. Sinetta TV, Black News 102, those are legacy channels. Baba TV, every time legacy channel. And there's others as well. What is a legacy channel? That's basically a channel that has legacy in this community, that has an archive that will take you back to the beginning of the community. It's sort of like when people are getting ready to watch Marvel movie, Avengers Doom, they're giving you the watch list of all of the movies to watch to prepare you for Doom. You just don't jump into Doom. So if you
Right,
get into the
right.
community and you're just jumping in right now, you don't walk into the movie in the 6th hour and expect to understand the movie. I would have to give you the lore of the movie and tell you, go and watch this movie from all of, go and watch this movie, the fifth part of this movie, the first one of this 5-part series. Go get that in. Like if somebody were to say, yo, teach me about The Wire, I would say there's no way to understand the lore of The Wire unless you watch part one, right? Same thing with Stranger
Mm-hmm.
Things, same thing with The Boys, the same thing with the Godfather series and whatnot. You can't watch Godfather part three and you didn't see part one, because you're going to see a great movie, but
Mm,
the foundation of what you could pull from it is not going to be complete because you don't have the entire nuanced and whatnot. This community is a living and breathing embodiment of millions of stories and testaments and mythos and fables and all type of things. Literally, stories from off of the walls of Kemet coming true and living and breathing entities in this real time. I remember during the era of the debate scene, nobody can tell me that they were literally sitting around feeling like, yo, all of the gods have reincarnated, nigga. This is crazy.
mm.
Mm.
Gods are walking the earth right now, y'all. I don't know how to explain it
Yes.
and whatnot, but they got niggas from different timelines walking through this bitch,
Got
and they
this.
got their do-rags on with pants hanging, nigga. It's different.
Mhm.
It's different.
It's
Absolutely.
different. Yeah, because the energy.
Yes.
So imagine a guard with a YN demeanor now. What is that gonna look like?
Yes. 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 Absolutely.
Imagine that nigga from the
Absolutely.
Troy movie, from the Odyssey movie with the helmet, and he got a switchy.
Oh.
He got face tats now. It's just gonna be
Oh,
different.
yeah.
But that's where we're at right
Yes.
now. But
Mm.
the nuance is in the beginning. Henceforth, in it at this. That's why that show that you did when you brought Sarnetta and you brought brother Black Dot, you brought me on, you brought
Shabazz.
Shabazz on. That
Shabazz.
might have
Yep.
been the
Chris.
most important show on this channel this year. And as somebody who walked through Harlem the other day, and I realized that Harlem is on a new timeline, I'm like, that story has to be told because that timeline that we had could be erased. It has the danger
Yes.
of being erased and whatnot if we don't get in front of that and get that story out there, because that's the most important. That's the most important story that has never been told as to
Yep.
what the hell was going on in New York City and around the world when this new form of consciousness. This is like the Avengers. This shit is, you know how Marvel has phases and whatnot. We are
I
probably
tell
in the
people all the
fourth or
time.
fifth phase right now, but that
Yeah.
story has not been properly told.
No, D. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. I tell people all the time. So for little sis, you can't skip steps, is what Red Pill is basically saying. You are the sum of your learned and lived experiences. And so when we speaking about, like I said, you don't wear consciousness, a community, which is this common unity amongst people who see things alike. That community is going to be filled with thieves. That community is going to be filled with charlatans, real people. It's going to be filled with everything. So don't go in blindly thinking because somebody's coming under the banner of consciousness that they won't grift you or lead you down the wrong path or take something from you, your innocence, or whatever the case may be. So consciousness is who you are. It is, in essence, you walking through your life, but questioning everything, little sis. Just question everything. Doesn't mean in the literal sense, but when you ask the right questions, the right answers, they always come to you. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm with all of that. So the universe is looking, little sis, to help you. It's conspiring for you. So when you say you can't do something, the universe goes, you are absolutely right. But when you say, I can do this, and then you match the energy and vibration of what the universe is trying to help you do, you'd be surprised what answers come to you, what problems you solve, and then you'll realize that it's all within you. So the more and more you learn about self, little sis, listen to me. When you have a problem, don't point outward. The first pointing should be inward. Look at self and go, I'm the controller of this. What role am I playing in this situation right now with my big brother, my mother, my this, my that? And then once you start being honest with self, you solve more problems than you think you can. So enjoy the ride of this thing called
And
life, because you're going to get one of these.
I just want to veggie back on that and to tell her that ye are God. The black woman is God, but God is the acronym, and it's the generator, the operator, and the destroyer. And that means that you generate, you prompt your existence, you prompt your reality. And then when you given these tools and with consciousness, is it gives you all of the tools that you need in order to see this experiment thoroughly through. As the operator, you get to now operate. You know what I mean? You could take the information and apply it. Destroyer. You're not going to allow nothing to leave the assembly line if it's defective. You're not allowing nothing to fly if it don't got wings and whatnot. You're the destroyer.
Absolutely.
You now audit yourself and you audit your circle and you audit others. And I have to add this. Saturn has gone retrograde. It is up and it's stuck. Pay it.
I read. Can you because I tried to get rid of somebody in the chat, but they said this comment is on a guest destination. Somebody keeps spamming saying Dr. Wesley is full of shit. I think that's on your end. Could you get rid of that guy for me, please?
Yep.
Sourdough 9. Dr. Wesley has absolutely nothing to do with this conversation.
Nothing to do with this damn conversation.
So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Psychosis.
Yeah, that's
that's psychosis.
That's somebody. Dr. Wesley is living vicariously through somebody's mind.
Yeah,
they're operating in what we call parasocialism.
Red, you see him? Sourdough. I just want to get him out of here. And I just want to add on real quick, because those were two beautiful answers Dot and Red gave. Just to add on real quick for little sis watching, if you turn on YouTube and you see a dude in the spiritual community online, you see a dude with no shirt on. He says he's vegan. He has on no shirt. He says he's vegan. And every 10 minutes, he says the black woman is God. Turn that motherfucking channel.
Run.
As fast as you can. That's a red flag. I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times that's a red flag. Lil sis, watch out for the brothers that out there pandering to women. They're pandering for pussy.
Yes.
Now, and pardon the language, but if you got to say that continue, that's called pandering. Nick Fuentes and the white supremacists, they're calling out pandering on their side now. So they're saying, Candace Owens, we don't need you no more. We could talk shit ourselves. Donald Trump is in office. We could be out in the open no more. They said, Myron Gaines, nigga, get out of here. We don't want you no more. We could talk for ourselves. You're pandering us to make a couple of dollars. So they see these immigrants pandering on their behalf to try to make a quick dollar. So they're calling out Myron. They're calling out Candace Owens. We need to start seeing the people pandering in our community, whether they're pandering to get in the girls' drawers or they're pandering for this or like we got to be able to spot that. So don't get caught up in the brothers that say the black woman is God every 15 fucking minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it is pandering. I done seen it 1,000 times. A lot of the people who
I don't see
they got cases on them.
Pandering.
They got cases on them. So just be careful. just wanted to say that. You gotta watch out for that. You gotta watch out.
Yeah, the pandas
out.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get another question before we get out of here. Okay. Well, okay. This will be the last question, and I know Red wants to share a link, and Dada close it out also. If spirituality is about being, why has the internet turned it into a checklist of things you have to do?
Well, let me answer that really quick. Stay off the internet when it comes to spirituality. See, they're force feeding you. It's a whole bunch. It's more bots on the internet now than actual people, and that's a fact. And so they are trying to get you to drop your spiritual guard so that you allow certain aspects of AI and other things to take over. I speak about on my show the IP address that people are selling. You have a cosmic IP address that they're trying to get to, because that's the God gene within you. And so forget this checklist. There is no such thing as a checklist for spirituality. You are spirituality. You just experiencing it in different layers of your life. That is it. There is no, I got to wear the chain. I got to put the bracelet on. I got to have the language. That's not spirituality. That's something else. You know what I mean? And so, and while I'm not against jewels and crystals, because they're just external reminders of an internal universe that has everything it needs, this internet has become very dangerous because you don't know who's on the other end. You don't know who could see your light through this TV looking to drain you. You don't know who's trying to mislead you. See, back in the days, everybody who came to the lecture, we can at least physically see them. The agents work different now. They're anonymous, and they're working on algorithms, and they're working to steer consciousness and intelligence in ways that couldn't be done by just showing up at a lecture and being that one awkward dude in the crowd who was trying to disrupt things that we could just pick up and throw them out. You know what I mean? And so there is no a list that you can follow. Your life is the only list you need, and your experiences belong to you. That's all I got to say about that.
Indeed. Excellent. Yeah, Red.
Yeah. Everything that Dot said, everything that Dot said, and a reminder that once again, there was a time where we were in Zion, and then the Matrix was in the Matrix, but that has been blurred, and everything from Zion got blurred into the Matrix, and everything from the Matrix is now in Zion. And we share sacred spaces with people that are not so sacred anymore. We actually have more sacred spaces. 125th Street was considered to be a sacred space. It was a centralized location where information and energy was consecrated, right? And then that energy that was consecrated was broadcasted around the world, around the galaxy and whatnot. It was doing numbers comparable to what you considered viral, going viral these days. We were doing 50,000, 40,000, 20,000 in one day, 100,000. Things were really, really beginning to move. And we live in the shadow of that right now, right? The apex of it was in 2016, 10 years ago. right? Ironically enough, a whole decade ago is when consciousness apex, right? And then I feel that right around the time when Dr. Sebi made transition, because you got the Dr. Sebi making transition, you got the Bambaataa scandal, which was a fracture, which was a break, which was a collapse, which was a death, which was a quote unquote, which was it was like a glitch in the matrix in a sense, right? Then you have Sinetta falling out with YP and SETI and whatnot. That ended that whole unity era and all of that stuff. That's 2016. This is the apex of it. This is when it all began to it touched.
That was 2016.
That was 2016.
Wow.
All of the things that I'm naming right now,
yes,
literally 10 years ago, King.
Damn.
You're
right?
right. You're right. You're right.
Whoa.
When Cypher did that thing with the Matrix, when Cypher wanted to eat the steak and made this whole thing about clothes and shit like that, and made this thing about visual materialism, and made the metrics of spiritualism materialism, right? Somewhat disrupting the code, right? That was the literal scene in the Matrix with the steak and with Cypher and with Agent Smith, right?
Absolutely.
And that's when people started to do what? Sell themselves, sell their souls, begin to lose focus about what they originally signed up for this thing for. The way that people even started presenting themselves started to literally change and whatnot. I remember there was a day and time where there was only 3 naked women in the venue, you know? And then that multiplied.
They was all polite wild, by the way.
It multiplied. You feel me? I remember when in the audience there was only like 1 or 2 people from outside of our community. You feel me? Now when you look in the audience, it's almost imbalanced. Right? People began to focus on what people had, like what they were, what they were portraying on the internet, when you could portray anything. I remember there was a day and time where people didn't even know what Airbnb was. And you could pop up in like 10 cribs in 1 week, and fam was like, damn, you see how son and them is moving?
How they getting it right?
How they getting it?
Yeah.
I remember those that these were memory, you know what I'm saying? Holding on to these memories is gonna save you moving forward, because we literally are in a new timeline, ladies and gentlemen. We are past what is called the uncanny valley. They now could create photorealistic, hyper-realistic visuals of anybody and anything. We are past the uncanny valley. We are knocking on the door of AGI. You can't trust nothing that you see. You talk about Project Bluebeam, you cannot trust nothing. You can't trust nothing you hear anymore. We're past that. We went past that threshold. Those are gonna be, back in my days. That's the new back in my days. Understand what timeline you're on and where you're at right now. And understand that being able to recall a time when things weren't like that is going to be one of your powers moving forward.
Golden, yes.
You got to be able to anchor yourself in some real experiences, into some real times. If you went on that Stone Mountain, you was really up there. That is going to anchor you into a place where when this shit goes completely quantum and you don't know what reality is versus what you're going to be seeing and whatnot, you could at least mentally go back to that spot. You could go back
and
to
use that as a tool.
Black Theater, which, by the way, is not even there anymore. So that memory got collapsed. That wave collapsed because that place is no longer there. You see how that works, right? When the wave collapses in the mental plane, it collapses in the 2D plane. So if you drive up to that address, that shit is not even there anymore. So the memory of what took place, right? It's almost as if it never happened, but it did happen. But it's literally inside of that box. It's inside of your mind. It's inside of the memory. It's just, it exists on the internet and whatnot. But for those that were literally there, that is valuable. Nobody could take anything away from you. That's where the real value is being created. when we get together, when we amongst each other. Because we all the way in 2026, I could literally tell you about St. Francis College in Brooklyn, nigga. When Panic was headlining with our seer, nigga.
Yo,
when Phil Valentine
yo,
was at
hold
St.
up,
Francis.
nah, nigga. Yo, how you said that as soon as I pulled this up? Yo, he said that. Yo, I was
Wow.
Yo, simulation we live
I'm
in.
out.
Yo,
Yeah,
I
good night.
literally just pulled this up because Blue Pill sent me this, and as soon as this popped up with Panic and I see it, Red Pill said Panic and I see it. This shit is a simulation.
No, but that's the timeline that we are on right now. Cam Bada, come here. Look, family. I'm here with Cam. Yo, literally.
I literally just pulled this
up. Listen, but that's what I'm saying. That is the timeline that we on right now, where everything that you speaking of, it is coming true right now. Yo, that's the timeline that we are on. This timeline right now. Don't lose yourself. But we are literally on a new timeline where you are speaking things into existence. I am concerned about CERN. They turned CERN off. It is up. Right, we are speaking things literally into real life. We are on new timing.
That's crazy. I was just about to see that's Dot in there, King Simon, Blue Pill, Red Pill, Brother Rich, and Dr. Valentine. Right. Yo, y'all remember how tight it was in St. Francis that day? How packed it was? Packed. Yo, I just wanted it to be over because I'm like, oh God, please don't let something happen because it's overcapacitated. Yeah, I just wanted it because everybody was like this inside. It was my security was like, yo, Rich, we can't let no more people inside. I'm like, I don't let them know. And we had a room. Yo, that was my first big event. And I'm gonna tell you, shout out to my son Sirius. My girl was pregnant. The day of this event, me and my girl we pulled Panic to the side. I was like, yo, Panic, yo, I just you one of the first people I want to know my girl pregnant. You know, he said a little blessing, him and Khadijah. Khadijah gave my girl a book on astrology, and it was special because I was inspired to do the event because I had a son on the way. So I'm like, I need to do something big. I got a baby on the way, bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? I want to start I'm tapping into my fuller potential. I want to be who I came down here to be, you know what I'm saying? So I let go a certain amount of fear that I had before, and I did that event. This one led to this event right here. But it was just dope that you said that at the same time. That's amazing, yo. Wow, synchronicity. Wow.
Can't make this up. You can't make this up. This is the true and living in real time, just to show you that, you know, we are on that frequency. That frequency has now manifested, and we are inside of that timeline, right? For everybody that has made it to the other side, all I gotta say is welcome.
Cam Bada, hold. Let me show this. Let me show this one. This Cam Bada's in this one. Is Cam watching on Blue? I mean Red.
Right. Yeah.
Cam Bada, you see, you was there. Y'all see our Seer, Panic, Supernova, Blue Pill, Red Pill, Cam Bada.
That's crazy.
This is the event we was talking about. This was my first big event, family. This was Brother Rich's first like real big event, and it was in New York at St. Francis College. Thank you to King Simon. I think King Simon had the St. Francis Connect. I think. Shout out to him. Red, you want to leave a link? You got some music coming up before we get out here?
Can.
And thanks to Blue Pill for saving all this stuff because I don't really save a lot of pictures and memories.
Salute to Blue.
That. So shout out to Blue.
Yeah, salute to Blue. Salute to Blue. You know what I mean? Salute to KT. Salute to Mama Pill. Salute to the legend AA. You feel me?
Yes.
Salute to everybody, man. It's just a beautiful salute to Griff.
Yo, listen, brown bag legend, Kate.
I can't see you because your background. I can't see your background. Yeah. Your background, Red. Oh, okay. Hold on.
A little bit. Yeah.
What?
Professor Griff.
Okay.
Yeah, we was in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
This was 2018.
Shout out KB.
KB gonna be performing, right?
He's gonna be performing in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Cyclones. With his new song called Brooklyn's Finest, Spread Love is the Brooklyn Way, and he just got picked up to do the New York Liberty game on Monday at the Barclays Center. He performing at halftime.
That's dope.
So shout out KB, the brown bag legend.
That's dope.
Did you
That
say
is fire.
So you know.
That is fire. I'm sorry, Red. Did you leave that link? No, I see that it's in the chat.
Yeah. Shout out to KB, one of my first producers who believed that he saw something in me in Blue Pill back in 2007, 8. And we made a classic called I Made a Classic. Thanks to Black Dot for being on that, being in that, a part of that, Legends of the Guardian. And then we did Secret Chiefs, right?
Yes.
So these were some of the first songs in the genre of God hop that go down in history and whatnot. Group posse, like Protect Your Neck for Wu-Tang. That's what it was for us, you know.
Yes.
And I'm definitely in the name of the music, in the name of the frequency, in the name of the arts, something that is my passion, one of my first loves. We all met each other, I believe, through music, along with consciousness as well and whatnot, you know. Me, my brother Blue Pill, and this good brother Cambada, along with the musical sounds of brother Rich, all right, and my good brother Nick Price. We have finished a project. We have cooked up and baked up a musical plate of food, right? What I would say is a victory lap, our version of victory lap for the year of 2026 of the Fire Horse year. We've made a soundtrack for this year, in alignment with the feeling of victory that you saw displayed in New York City with the Knicks in 5, along with the girl team, along with even FIFA being the home of where the championship took place, where the Moor beat Argentina, right? So we have a project entitled Voltron, and this is basically chapter 1 of Voltron. It is going to have multiple chapters. We're looking at either 4 or 5 chapters, but this first chapter is finished. It's in the bag. We are going to have an album release inside of New York City. This is going to be a pop-up. We're looking at either August the 1st or the 2nd. So if you're in New York City, get ready, get prepared. It's going to be invite only. All right. This is going to be one for the record books. And we are releasing our single on this. It's going to be a full moon tonight. This is a very powerful alignment. Saturn is in retro. I'm here with the God Cambada, and I just want him to say a few words. Bada.
Hello, yo, Bada, what's good?
Yo, Black Dot. Radio
What's good?
Rich, man. Listen, brother, it's a full moon, and I woke up seeing blood today. I mean, listen. The world lucky that I do music. Listen, a whole different world is happening. And guess who came? You thought 3-Eye Atlas just passed by. Nah, something hopped off that motherfucker. That's right. It was a 3-headed monster. Red pill, blue pill, Cambada. But they said the Voltron is made of 5. That's where you get the Radiohead Rich. And that's where you get Nick Price.
That's right.
Those are the only producers on this album.
Nickel.
This is the most well-rounded album that you've ever heard these pillars on.
Wow.
And this is a different Cambada.
Whoa.
I know you guys have heard of Babyface. Well, let me reveal Fetus Face. You're gonna see things and hear things that you've never imagined before, people, children. There's songs on here that I don't think you would have expected in another time, another place. But it's coming out 8/8 because that's exactly the miles per hour that you had to go to break the time barrier and Back to the Future. 88. 8, you know, 8/8, that's the sign for Hell Hitler, right? Because that's HH.
That's right.
They took the power of that, but H is the first element. That's hydrogen. So the eighth letter in the eighth letter, 8, destroy and rebuild, create. That's the pregnant lady, and after that comes the fetus, and everything that ends in 8 is create, devastate, eviscerate.
And 8 is hip hop.
Lions Gate.
Innovate.
and hip hop.
Listen. I'm in a rare state right now. Radiohead Rich.
They called you Macho Man Cam.
Listen. They're gonna have to put me on a leash tonight. They're gonna have to put me on a leash tonight.
That's right.
Go look at that moon, man.
A full moon.
Yeah, that moon.
Be careful what you say to me today.
Let me get my cigars ready tonight.
Come on, man.
It's a full moon.
Listen, yo, I
I
just said something to Rich. We've been quietly releasing stuff. Rich knows exactly what I'm about to play, but he ain't hear it like this.
Go ahead. Play that. Let me hear that. If y'all.
Go ahead, sir. You got it in your email.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Shit. I don't know how to.
Oh, you don't know how to do share screen.
Yeah, I can share. Oh shit. Hold up. It won't share the audio. Red.
How do we solve this?
I could do it. I could share my audio.
You can share your audio, Red?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, please do that. If you can, please do that. Make it easier.
Send an email to me.
Send it to you?
Yeah.
All right, let me forward it.
No, I could send it to you.
I already sent it, Cam. I just forwarded it.
For you, Rich, I put a link inside of the private chat. That's to the that's for the pre-order, the pre-sale.
I just
you know what? We don't even need to play it. We'll just say we could send Rich the link. We could just leave, I don't want to fucking Apple Care. Oh, hold on, guys. No. We got Black Dot in the building, man. What's up, man?
Man, I can't wait to see you guys this week, man. Put my arms around you. It's been a minute.
Indeed.
So I'll be in the building.
Yeah. Cam, I'm gonna be in New York on Wednesday. I'm gonna be there.
My God, yeah. Thank God,
I'm coming from Wednesday to I'm gonna be there for a little while, about a week.
Oh, that's exactly what the doctor ordered, man.
Yeah, I got it.
We once I heard that earlier, I said, "Nah, we got to do an album. We got to do the album listening in New York before we do it in Atlanta, right? We got to put New York on to what we working on and what we cooked up."
You got that track, Red? I don't want to keep that too long.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Did you forward it to me?
Yes, I did. I forwarded.
Okay.
Yes.
I got it. Yep. Hold on.
Set it up.
I gotta set it up. Easy, nigga. Yeah, let me set it up. All right,
bro.
So let
How
them.
many people watching right now?
About 1,700 right now, Cam.
God damn!
Yeah, so y'all in for a surprise. Y'all are in for a world premiere. We're gonna put the link up for the pre-orders. I need everybody to go ahead and get your pre-order on. Go and buy this project. It is 12 tracks. This is history in the making. On Thursday on his show, we're gonna be debuting about 4 or 5 of those tracks. This is our official rollout. Literally, the Lionsgate started today in the Cosmos. It started today and it culminates on 8/8. So this is our journey. This is our mythos. This is our walk. This is our cure to spiritual psychosis. Because remember, the frequency of the music is gonna help you. That's what's been fucking shit up in the first place. So now we here to fix it. So let's tune our frequencies, Voltron, and let's transform, y'all. All right, world premiere, disclosure.
World premiere.
World premiere.
Produced by Radiohead.
I ain't even hear it yet. So I did the beat. I'm hearing this for the first time, like y'all, family. Let's go. I'm excited. Let's go.
Y'all hear it?
Nah.
Yep.
No, I didn't.
No.
We the collectors of the art, the thinkers, the doers, the knowers, the architectures of the art.
Y'all hear it?
Dark moon protectors of the hearts. Triple mega yachts, 444 megawatts. Furbiz, Nature, Foxy, AZ, Don, Escobar, moving megatons, mega bucks. 444 megatrons, they call mega bus. We're from Sega bus and a mega bus as we embark upon a hero's journey.
Come on, Brett, with the bomb. Wait. Let me bring it back from the top.
I can really hear the beat, y'all. Damn, that's a hell of an intro. Run that
Shit,
back.
that's a hell of a song.
Damn. I hear clear now.
We the collectors of the art, the thinkers, the doers, the knowers, the architectures of the art. Triple dark moon, protectors of the hearts. Triple dark, mega yachts, 444 megawatts. Firm biz, nature, Foxy, AZ, Don, Escobar, moving megatons, mega bucks. 444 megatrons, they call mega bus. We're from Sega bus and a mega bus as we embark upon a hero's journey. Opening scene in Carlito's Way, laid out on a hero's gurney, staring off afar into the canopy of stars until it landed me on Mars. Mama, my third eye active. Seventh heaven, open up the third eye atlas on the third eye Thursdays. Voltron form with bird's eye wordplay via the third eye persons in third grade. Revenge of the blur days, the Vic Mensa, mixed with the elixir serpenta. Welcome to the center of a mentor.
Got the gods excited as I'm strapped up in my captain's chair. Autopilot. Spacecraft, I don't have to stare. It's called arrival. Pass through natural wear and crack the atmosphere. The daddy's here. And 10 foil hatters that were gathered there just clapped in chairs. Left the faculty at NASA scared. Donald Trump started acting weird. He just sat and stared. I hit up Billy Carson for a chat. We're galactic pairs. Grabbed the beer. Asked in a chalice full of dragon tears. Cone-headed, 12-foot giant with a gold melon. Native suit, anti-Christ that the Catholics fear. Universal soldier, the predator. I'm traveling the galaxy for challenges. You clash with me, I'll scrap you there. Warlord, I can smell the blood when the battle's near. See the smoke from the disaster that happens after clear. Point, telepathic, empathic seer. I'll imagine atoms somewhere and then astral travel there. Fact, I swear, across a billion light years in half a year. I'll teleport through different dimensions like after Alistair. Magic mare, summon the ghost of the late Delbert Blair. Alistair, Broly, I sat in prayer, my dad appeared. Savage, I'll attack a bear, smack him bare, handed claws, hit him with the paws like he acting queer. Split his jaw, crack a crown, lost a canine, ain't no lassie hair. See the teeth flying out his mouth like some babonair. Catch a tooth, attach it to my staff, now I have a spare. Stab the bit, wait and put the stab, re-stab the bit. A lion heart, 3 eagle eyes, 2 rabbit ears. I like it dark, I see the sound waves that a bat would hear. Rather weird, the fact that I have all his natural talents rare. Physical athletic abilities that I have compared. Bron as a cavalier, Shaq in his magic year. Kobe when he had the fro and Jordan when he had some hair. Vince Carter back on the Raptors when T-Mac was there. Iverson, why we still talking about practice here? Compared to you, Earth is a 3-dimensional massive sphere. Compared to me, Earth is a 2-dimensional flattened square. Oh my, look up in the sky. What's that up there? It's not a comet. Rocks made of ice are not that aware. It's not a drone. Anything else that was manufactured here. It's a craft, cleverly disguised like a mask I wear. Glad he's here. 3-eye atlas in your stratosphere. Galaxy to galaxy, I traffic and I rack a dare. Fuck Earth. All I see is facts and crack addicts here. Everyone's cursed. God is saying that
Oh my God!
Prepared. When my crown prepares, needs the revelation chapters.
What the fuck?
You gon' hear a blast and a flash of flare. Shining like the platinum that a rapper destroy Earth. Leave, look back and cry happy tears. Watch the simulation crash and call after out of gas. Stole it from the sun and caused plasma. Gotta say I can hit me on the app. I got facts to share.
Influence.
Then I hack in Palantir and clear the data there.
Altruism, unity, wholeness, precision, authentic love, harmony, healing, activation, tranquility, resilience, consistency, vitality, magnitude, chaos. The rightful ruler's back. The rightful ruler's back. Fire. What he said, I go from galaxy to galaxy and traffic and racketeer. Yo, what the fuck, yo? Oh man. I heard like the other version. I didn't hear that version yet. Yo, I'm gonna smoke a cigar and listen to that 100 times today.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yo,
somebody gotta send that to me.
I'm gonna send that to you. I'm text it to you, Doc. And y'all can't even really hear the beat like that.
Yeah,
wait till y'all really
Oh,
hear the beat.
goodness.
It's very one thing I want to say just real quick. Oh man, I'm just so hyped. Y'all can't just do stuff like that. One thing I want to say, what's beautiful about being a channel and being a vessel for God is that you never know what you're gonna create. And there's something about when I get in the same room with Cam, I channel a certain sound that I don't make with anybody else. So if you notice tracks like Goat or Yahweh Shah or even this one, it's very mystical. It has a very mystical sound to it. And I've never was able to channel that with any other artist, but for something about when I get around with me and Cam, we got like this shaman brotherhood that we able to talk about like shamanistic type stuff, and it just comes out in the music. So I love it, man. Cam, you did your thing, man.
I love it.
Amazing. That's
Oh
amazing.
yeah, man.
That's super
That was
amazing.
actually one of the first beats Rich sent.
That's
I'm
old.
talking about that beat
That
might
beat is
be
old.
that beat might be 12 years old.
That beat is old.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I already knew that I was gonna eventually use that one, and one day I stumbled on that beat, and it just came at the right time. And right now, man, you can pre-order the album at www.voltronalbum.com. There's gear, there's wear, anything that's not queer is there. Maybe even that too, if you're like a little underwear. Like, listen, man. Yo, like I'm truly thankful, man. Listen, Radio Rich is the greatest producer of all time.
Oh man,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, man. And the only other person that can even sit next to him is the only other person we deal with, and that's Nick Price, because that's the person who takes what me and Rich and Red and Blue do, and even Black Dots work with him. And he's able to put that.
He's
that
phenomenal.
Sauce on.
I've never seen nothing like it. I've never seen nothing like it.
Man.
Yeah.
So it's a and that's we just had that writers camp with Rich, and it was monumental, and we plan on doing more of that, making sure we create that atmosphere to so we can be this creative. Like the thing about it is Rich is raring to find new artists. He's looking for Charlie, to somebody to come into that chocolate factory that got their shit. But guess what? If you greedy, you're gonna end up in the swamp like Augustus Gloop. You gotta watch yourself, man. Don't sell the everlasting gobstopper, and Willy Wonka will have something for you. And that's how Rich works, man. It is supreme. So like anything that we touch is ordained. And I'm just thankful that we got to do this. I think Rich is on at least 3 tracks on the album, and they're bangers. And then, but yeah, man, that's on the horizon right now. And thank you guys so much. I didn't even know I was going to be on the show tonight, man, but that's what the full moon does to people, you know. And yes, we're all going to meet soon. Yeah, and Wednesday, god damn, that's in what, 2 days, right? God damn, we talking about like 5 days from now. You better start packing down, brother. Let's go.
Well, for real shit for this project, I need to be like, I just can't just drop it. I need album listening. This is one of these listening things, because what's being talked about and the sound that we got here, I need to see everybody's faces. You know what I mean? I want my team to be there. So the family is definitely gonna be there. We're looking at either Thursday or Friday, ladies and gentlemen, for the New York album listening experiencing. And then on 8/8 in Atlanta, we will have the premiere. We'll be down there for the Invest Fest weekend. We also gonna have a writing camp. So we'll have limited space for a writing camp in Atlanta featuring Cambada, Red Pillar, and other quote unquote creatives and whatnot, producers. We're gonna get to our creativeness, because I promise you, the music is the key. This is our key to the universe. This is the way that we're gonna walk through portals. Melanin Monday is coming up next. I'll be on Know the Ledger 444. Make sure y'all tap in. We got Melanin Mondays coming up, probably around midnight or whatnot. We're gonna let this one breathe right here. If we can, maybe we could close out with that song one more time for disclosure. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the build up to Voltron, the project is here. 12 tracks, red and the blue, Cambada, unlike anything that y'all ever heard. And for 2026, because this is such a monumental year, it needs a soundtrack. This is a victory album, y'all, and it's for women, men, children, and everyone. Facts.
Hey, I guess with that being said, family, we about to get out of here. I want to thank Red. I want to thank Dot. I want to thank Cam for coming on the show. Phenomenal show. Very important message. Very, very important message. I'm glad. Thank you for the questions. What's the link to pre-order? Did I share the right link, Red? That
Yeah.
the
It's called
chemistry.
the chemistry. Yeah,
Okay.
the chemistry.com. The chemistry.com
Yeah, I just shared.
slash backslash shop. We have bundles available. We're selling vinyl. We have cassettes and we have CDs.
I love it.
Yes. And we also
I
have
love it.
we got merch as well. This is going to be an animated visual album. So if I have artists that are out there, we got videographers that we're looking for. Listen, y'all, Blue Pill, Blue Pill did his goddamn thing on this one right here. This y'all gonna be so proud of us. I promise you. We all stepped it up. Everybody stepped it up. And it's been a while since we did music. It's been about 6 years for me. You know what I mean? 6 years, to be honest with you, since the Red Summer. So this is my entry back into the music mode. I'm gonna lock into my music shit for about maybe a year now, but I'm taking this very much serious because this is what you leave behind. These are you see these diamonds and these gems behind me. You want you want assets. You want things that appreciate, especially in this new economy that we're in, this creative economy. You want assets that appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Your songs are literally like shares at a company, especially if you own them. Shout out to 38 Special. We'll talk about that another day.
Hey, appreciate you for coming on the show. Thank you, family.
Thank you for having me, King.
All right. Peace. Peace. All right. Shout out to Red. Wow, phenomenal show, y'all. Shout out to Red. Shout out to Dot. Shout out to everybody. Somebody said it sounds like it's from Lemuria. Yeah, definitely does. You know, we are, like Red said earlier, we are the ancient gods return, all of us. So yeah, you know, we have to tap into, you know, our supreme nature, our eternal nature, which, you know, is multidimensional. It extends far beyond this imaginary realm. Yeah, we'll be talking a lot about music in the near future. Like Red Pill said, music, we the rhythm nation of the planet, and music has always dominated, you know, all aspects of our culture, from the way we eat to the way we dress to our relationships. If the music doesn't express love, we don't see love expressed in the street. You see, there's no R&B music now. What y'all see in the streets, y'all see there's no love element no more. And that's a direct correlation to a lack of it in our music. So the music is very, 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 very important, family. So yes, we definitely are supreme. And that's just a frequency. That's not to say that we're better than anybody. That's just our divine birthright. You know, we are emanations of God. We are apertures of divinity. You know, we are aspects of God, and you know, God is experiencing itself through us. You know, once God realizes it's God, God doesn't ask, God commands. If God was asleep and God woke up, God would start commanding things to be. We need to start commanding things in our life because that's part of our birthright, to command things into existence. You heard Billy talk about that a lot, but I'm hyped. I didn't know. Yeah, they said the link. I shared the link several times. It's in the. I just shared it again right now. I didn't know they was gonna play that tonight. I didn't even know Cam finished the verse. I know Cam started it. I didn't know Red was on it, so I'm hyped. I'm super hyped. I didn't know it was a full moon, so I'm about to have a cigar, and I'm about to you know, tap in tonight. Let me also share the link for anybody interested in donating to get a cigar. Let me share the link for the cigars one more time to the family. Appreciate y'all, man. I swear, man, what a show. What a powerful show. Let me just see what y'all talking about real quick before I get out of here. Oh, I appreciate it. Troy said buying more cigars right now. I appreciate it. Yeah, how was your experience with the cigars the first time, Troy? I would love to know. Good beat. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it, Mike. Oh, so you just over there holding music, huh? Yes, we are non-ether beings. Yes, I got to spit a verse for you. Yeah, I'm you know, it takes time, but we're gonna touch a base. Shout out to somebody on Instagram. And you know, I'm hard to impress a lot. And with music, you got one thing. Let me say this about for those who are interested in collab with me. I'm not just because I'm a conscious creator. I'm not just looking for music and just to hear you say that you are God and you eat veggies and all this. I like music. So you have to actually be musical. You have to actually have rhythm. There's a lot of conscious people who don't really have rhythm. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Me and Cam talk about it. So you have to know how to catch a beat. You have to know, you have to be in the right key. You have to know how to flow on a certain beat. You can't just have conscious words and think that that makes you or that's going to make certain people want to work with you. It's way beyond just saying conscious words. And matter of fact, to work with me, you don't even have to be conscious. I like good music. I'm not, you know, of course I don't want nothing crazy low vibrational, but if you just got good music, I look forward to collaborating with people. You don't have to be super conscious and talk about, you know, all this conscious stuff. You know, just good music is good music. So yeah, you know, soon we're gonna be collaborating with a lot of people in the community. I want to give a shout out to somebody on my Instagram though, who sent me a good record. And I'm gonna hit the brother back. I told the brother it was dope. A brother named Cole the Universe on Instagram. I don't even know if that brother's watching right now. Brother named Cole the Universe on Instagram sent me a real good song. And it's funny. Let me just tell you what he said. It's crazy because he like talked it into existence. You know, I get DMs and emails all the time, but the brother hit me up. He said in April, he said, "Yo, I got the star power, Rich. I've been waiting for this moment. A lot of these cats may have better bars or be more lyrical, but they cannot bridge the spiritual in the mainstream like I will. This is going to be monumental. I can't lose, bro. The conscious community behind me too. Oh my God, what? And there's no way we don't take over the world." He hit me in April and said that. And, you know, I was just like, okay, whatever. Then the brother sent me a track in July, and the track was fire. So I want to give a shout out to that brother. I definitely want to give us like, I was like, oh, okay. Like this shit really is fire. So I want to give a shout out to that brother. And I'm gonna hit the brother up. I'm gonna send the brother a beat because I want to see what the brother could do with it. I definitely want to see what the brother could do with it. Somebody said, yeah, King, you've been telling me about her for a while. I would love to collaborate with that. That sister is one of the best in the world. I would love to collaborate with her. So if you could hook that up, King, yeah. If you could hook that up, that'd be phenomenal. That'd be phenomenal. That'd be phenomenal. Yeah. Somebody say anybody use that's an old machine, MV8000, I think. Is that the one that looked like the MPC? Maybe I think it's that one. I think it's that one. Somebody said, "Bet I'm gonna collab with Radiohead one day." Yeah, we're gonna be communicating soon. I ain't forget about my music channel. You know, things are just taking a little longer than I expected. You know, I just rolled out Carbon Code Collective. We getting that started. You know, there's a lot of things that's gonna get ready to get started. So definitely gonna be communicating with a lot of y'all in the future, connecting with a lot of y'all, you know, musically. Let me see, yeah. But yeah, with that being said, everybody enjoy yourself, man. That where do we get a Radiohead beat, Rich? Yes, I'm not even selling beats right now. Yeah, I don't sell beats. I was thinking about, I'm gonna start selling them. You know, it's not just about selling the beat to me. It's about making a good song. So I wouldn't want to sell a beat and then the song is not good. But yeah, I'm gonna create something where, you know, people have access to my beats. I'm definitely gonna create something. Got a lot of good music coming out though, y'all. A lot of good music. A lot of good music coming out. I guess we're gonna sign out with that song. I don't know if because Red played it. No, Red played it. I don't even. Yeah, Red played it. I can't play it. That was on Red Pill's computer. But y'all gonna be hearing a lot of it. You're gonna be hearing a lot of it. Go look up a lady named what they said. Go look up a lady named Maka Lacey to interview. Maka Lacey. I'll keep that in mind. I will definitely keep that. No, that's a good idea. Drop a few beats for the community to make some songs too rich. You might discover hidden beats. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea. You fuck around and become a label. No, I got a label coming out. I got a digital label coming out. It's 363 Music. Remember, I'm working on this app. Things just taking a look, things is coming along. That's all I'm gonna say. Things is gonna, everything's gonna manifest at the right time. But yeah, that's the whole purpose. That's the objective. The label, that's the objective. So yeah, that is definitely the objective. So definitely. All right, let me get out of here, family. It's 11 o'clock. Listen, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'll be back on the mall. Tonight. All right, family. Everybody enjoy yourself. It was a very fun show. What a way to end it too, huh? Appreciate y'all, family. I'll see you on the mall night at 8 o'clock. All right. Peace and blessings.